It's clobbering time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Come get some.
It's clobbering time! Clobberonimo!
Yeah, Clobberonimo. Greetings, clobbers, clobberonimos, clobberooskies, clobberoids, clobberians, clobbers and clobbies, and all the other clobs out there. If those who are not yet clobbers, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Clobberonimo! Yeah, I love that sound, and I love that lady doing it, and I love all of you, folks. Good to see you. Welcome to Clobbering Times issue number 458 on YouTube. 1,458 over the past, in a couple of weeks, it'll be 15 years. And it's Clobby's Clubhouse number 124 with the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, Commander R.M. Briggs, and the great chief engineer, MARC D's with C's. Hello, hello, hello. Hail, hail. Hail with your bad selves. And hail to you all out there, my good friends. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. Tonight we have fun and frolic and frivolity for all. We have, what do we have? We have stuff and things and stuff and things to talk about, such as our Blake 7 review. Tonight's episode is Pressure Point. Nothing else reviewed tonight, but we're going to get together and talk about, we're going to talk about various things. We're going to talk about some of the things that are coming up in our future, the fun reviews, and you're going to like it. And we're going to talk with you. You know, we're just going to consider this after we get done with our review and all that stuff, a big hangout with all you wonderful friends, and talk to you a little bit, maybe answer some of your questions and talk amongst ourselves here in the clubhouse, because that's what it's for, right? And before we get started on,
impeccable, Captain.
Thank you. Before we get started, I'm going to turn the floor over to the most amazing first officer in the fleet for some opening words. Number one, what's up? Welcome.
Good evening, Captain. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. Thank you for hosting the show. Welcome to Clobby's Clubhouse. Hail to the chat. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to talk about Blake 7. We're obviously going to explore Mark's Museum of Geekness. Extreme
we did get something new today.
Other than that, let me get down to business, because I have a few people to thank. Because you know what? This whole thing that we're doing doesn't mean anything without the people who are watching. They're the ones who make this special. And so I just want to say thank you to all of the wrenches. Thank you so much for showing up tonight, for helping us to produce the show. And that's what you do. You build community, you build friendships, you build goodwill, and you make everything so much more pleasant, and you make everything easy. And I just want to thank you for that. You don't get paid to do that. You do that because this is your friend group, and I love you for that. And I appreciate it, and I recognize it. I also want to send a special thanks out to Lord Thoth, Larry, Eric K, Gwagnar, and Bubba Doom. These are folks who go out of their way to use their social media to promote Clobby's channel, to promote Clobby's show. And there's one very special person who I love very much. His name is Chris Persia. He's been with us since the very beginning. And he makes these sexy show posters that you would expect to see in the lobby of a cinema. And he does it for almost every single one of Clobby's shows. I think every show he does one.
Yes.
He uses graphic arts. He taps into all of the things that Clobby loves, and he makes these gorgeous show posters and then splashes them all over social media. And so I just want Chris to know how much I love him and how much I appreciate him. And also, Chris's dad is struggling with something that we're all kind of struggling with as we get older, and that is high blood pressure. And Chris was a bit worried about him a couple weeks back there, but this thing, it doesn't go away like that. It's something that's ongoing, and it could be very scary because of the other things it starts. So I'm an agnostic, but I'm going to send my love and my support to Chris because I adore him. It's almost as if we've met in real life. We've spent so much time together. But if you pray, and you're somebody who is religious, his papa could use some prayers of support. That's a really difficult thing to struggle with. I also want to wave hello to everyone on X. Jiminy Cricket peeps. We have a lot of human beings watching us on X. So good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to stop by on YouTube, though, so that Clobby can enjoy the metrics that you create by being here right on the boobage of the YouTubeage. I also want to wave hello.
Boobs?
I said boobs. I also want to say hello to all of our lurkers. We have a lot of friends who live in different places in the world, and they can't be in the chat. If they could be in the chat, it would be amazing, but they can't. They're working, they have stuff to do, or they're living somewhere where that would be ridiculous. We don't want to keep them up at all hours. So I just want to say hello to Retro Dicky, my buddy Retro Dicky from the Global Geek Gang. He is known on Twitter as Dr. Mew. Retro Dicky, I love you so much, and thank you for all of your support of Clobby and all of Clobby's shows. Thank you for constantly sharing Clobby's shows on your side of the pond. I also want to wave hello to my buddy. Thank you so much for hanging with us all these years. You're a pretty cool cat, and I love it when you leave comments. I don't usually respond to comments in the public sphere because, who does that? But here, wow, you sure make it different. And I appreciate it and I love to hear from you. So that's my hello to all of the lurkers who are named and unnamed. Folks, I have a second book coming out. It is Science Fiction Tales Volume 2. 10 more classic episodic science fiction tales that you can enjoy, you can escape into without admonishment, without corporate shenanigans, just a good time. And I have some wonderful patrons to thank because they are making this second book possible. So I want to give a shout out to Larry, who is a huge supporter of mine. He has been so generous, and I just want to tell him how much I love him and how much I appreciate him. With Larry, it's not just about the money, it's about the friendship. It's about somebody who is supporting an author. And he's really like that with all of the independent people who he supports. He's an incredibly special person. He's kicking it 19th century style. This is the kind of guy who finds an artist, like a guy would find an artist in the 19th or 20th century and say, I'll help you put together a collection. I'll help you to find a location so that we can show off your first collection. Like, that's the kind of guy he is, and I just really appreciate him. As well, I would like to thank Tony Stark for his generosity and support. He has been a great friend to me and unwavering and generous support. I also want to thank my buddy Sean Carter, Penny Lane, Shuta, Gwagnar, Dave, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete. They are home from holidays. Oh my gosh, I missed them. Eric K and his trusty dusty dog Kirby. If you find Kirby somewhere in China, it's okay. Look in Eric's backyard down the hole. Kirby is in there. Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, Anti-Derivative Jill, that's Jelly Joe, Maximum Redstone, JT Kirk, Dabman and the Dabman Clan, Lord and Lady Thoth, and of course his little Lancelot, his little Lance. Chuck some cheese in the chat for all the pepperonis we have here tonight. I also want to wave to my buddy Rob Altus, my friend Tyler, Jeff Wyatt, Rob Thunderheart, and of course, my amazing guitar playing friend, Mazeris. Maze! Thank you so much for your unwavering support, both personally and through this Patreon. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to shut my face. Oh, did I wave at Mark? Mark.
Hello. Of course.
And now I just want to pass it back over to the boss. Captain, my captain. We're gonna have so much fun tonight. Let's get it on. Let's do it.
There you go. Mark, anything in opening words?
Oh, well, thank you. Real quick, hail to everyone tonight, and looking forward to another great show. And we're still trying to convince Raquel to watch review Dumb and Dumber with us. We're working, guys. We'll get it done someday. I'm just kidding.
No,
I gave you all the ability to rover Mark, and also to put him in the Agony booth. And I hope you will use those tools.
But thank you. Yep, looking forward to tonight and being rover. If I keep getting rovered, I'm going to keep getting skinnier, which is good.
I mean, I think it's great. You wake up on a beach. I feel satisfied. Catharsis for one and all.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone who was with us at the watch party earlier. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad we get the support of people coming to watch the episode before the show and the review tonight. So thank you to everyone who was there.
Thank you, Mazeris. That's very nice of you.
Oh my God,
Mazeris at Super Chat says, Raquel, Mark, and Clobby, bless you all for uplifting everyone you know and leaving no one behind or out. Oh, that is just way too kind of you, sir. I love
you.
I tell you what, that's very nice of you, and we should play something for that.
Gweg is asking for the new video that I sent to Mark.
It's up there. It's on there.
Would you please play that?
Sure, yep.
Okay, hang on. Here you go.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Oh, sorry, not that one.
Clubby!
I was an accident. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, that's on the other one. Yeah.
Is it on the other
one? We need to bring back blow darting. Yeah, just let's bring back blow darting. I just believe that we need to reintegrate that back into society. Somebody starts speaking off. Please blow dart responsibly.
Well done, Gwagnar.
So Gwagnar made that out of the conversation that Clobby and I had on Saturday Night Star Trek. My favorite part is the very end where I say, please blow dart responsibly. So I love you, Gweg. And when I first watched that, I actually laughed so hard that I cried. So I love you, buddy. You're the best. And thank you for using your skills to make cool stuff for us.
You rock. Let's see what Michael said. You're pushing my dice like a Dumb and Dumber over the edge into active hatred. well, we come to serve, buddy. Yeah. Don't mention it. It's the least we can do. Shooter. 19 months.
19 months, buddy.
Wow, thank you, Shooter. Here for a good time and a long time. You got it, buddy. Peace. Thank you. Well, now for some show notes and shout outs, my friends. Let's see here. First up, what are we doing? What is today? It's Thursday. Okay. So tomorrow night, I'll be on my good buddy J-Man's channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, continuing our extraordinary Fearless Fridays, as it is now called, with a few more episodes to go of our weekly reviews of Frank Miller's seminal run on Daredevil classic that changed comics pretty much, and we like to deal with classic sagas on that channel. We did Kirby's Fourth World. Now we're a few more to go. We'll have finished Frank Miller's classic Daredevil run. And so that'll be great. And in April, We're going to start on Jack Kirby's legendary and like just the most one of the most formative things that for the art form of comics ever in the 20th century. His great Fantastic Four run in number 1 through 102 and annuals 1 through 6. And so looking forward to that. But right now that's going to be Fantastic Fridays. Right now it's still Fearless Fridays. And then, of course, a little bit later tomorrow night, I'll be on with the great Nick Weiser's channel, my buddy Nick, and the Friday Night Comic Shop Boys talking some what else? Comics, 8:30 Central. And then, of course, Saturday night Star Trek. We're back on track. Our same Trek time, same CLOBBERIN channel. Back to our reviews of Star Trek Voyager. With 4 more scintillating episodes, including one where they team up with the X-Men and fight the Juggernaut, looks like. So that's going to be great, man. Looking forward to that. Maybe. All right, so, and then, of course, end your weakest geek on the great Sunday Night Geekery. With the great Mark D with a C. What the hell?
Thank you.
On his great channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just ignore the eatery. Don't let him try to make you hungry. He's like that.
Or if you make sure you eat before the show.
Yes. Here's the shout outs now.
Illogical.
It's true. Let's see. Our great wrenches. Everyone gets shout out whether they're here or not. As far as our great wrenches are concerned, the great Eric K, the bronze wrencher, the vindicator wrench of the Great White North, Chris Persia. Thanks for all you do, my friend. But I'm not worthy of a great pal like you. Thank you so much.
I love you.
D. Bud Martin, the wrench of iron. Lord Thoth, Avon lives, long live the Legion. The aforementioned great J-Man, the wrench without fear and Legionnaire extraordinaire. Maddie's daddy, Thor Vegas.
Yes.
Stephen Cal-El, buddy. All right. The rascally wrench himself, Phantom Outsider. CLOBBERIN Time's own Music Meister. Maximum Redstone.
Maximum Redstone.
And, of course, our great triple Bullwinkle wrench, Larry.
Well,
right.
It's a triple because he's a man so nice. You should say his name twice, perhaps thrice. Larry.
Okay, let me back. Is it shut up so we can see who else is here with us tonight? We'd like to shout you all out. This is the clubhouse. This way we roll up and you. Man, I got to move this thing back. Oh, it jumped on me so far. Come on, man. There we go. The first up tonight is, of course, again, the aforementioned great Mazerus. It's so good to have you here, Mazerus. Good to see you. Our buddy Ravenscroft. Hello there, Ravens.
Yes.
Brian Hepburn.
Evening.
Gwagnar. I got a question for you later, Greg. I was looking for you the other night, and I had a question for you. And because my memory's such garbage, I actually wrote a post-it note on my computer to ask Gwagnar a question. So I promise you, I will ask you. I don't have to bug you about it right now, but anyway. Just let you know that hey, we look to you for answers. Hang on. Philip Story. Hello there. Good to see you. Welcome. Michael Beacom, hey buddy. I hope you and Cassandra are doing well tonight, pal.
Good evening, Beacums.
Yes, indeed. Penny.
Here you go.
Penny. Oh man. Yawarski pool practice.
That guy.
Yeah, watch out for that dude. Let's see here. Claude Selling. Hello there, my friend. Good to see you. All right, buddy. Hang on. Adrian James. Hello, my friend.
Adrian.
Welcome. DJ Play Nice. Welcome.
Hey, Rock.
Hey, Scribe Light. Good to see you, sir.
Scribe Light, it's so good to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Lovely lady, Suzanne Eckstein. Hello.
Suzanne.
Good to see you. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, Princess Fiona.
Fee,
Love you.
Oh, bum.
The lovely princess. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Shooter. Cinema Gulp. I did answer you. I finally found that message you sent me over on but it was on my group, Baxter Building Basement. If you have Twitter and we follow each other, or if I see you follow me, I'll follow you back. If you do Twitter, if not, there is a link in my description below for my email. That's another way to reach me directly. I'll even watch it. I'll even watch my email, which I'm bad at. I do admit. I'm horrible at that, but I will watch it for you if that's the way you want to do it. But like I say, excuse me, was it twit twats is easy. Let's see, the twits, as they say. Joe Dog, what's up, bud? The Tetrarch, what's up, Tetrarch?
So apathetic.
Thank you so much, Cinema Gulp. Gifted 5 memberships. That's very kind. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And thanks for being here tonight. The great 1701 Texness.
Tex, so good to see you. And yes, I do have booksies for salesies. You can pick up my first book, Science Fiction Tales Volume 1, at Barnes & Noble. Or you can also buy it on Amazon. Or you could just tell Clobby to give me your address, and I'll just mail you a signed copy if you want to get a hold of me privately. I could do that.
Indeedishness.
If you want a book. If you want a book.
Indeedishness. So looks like everyone so far. So there we go. So wow. It's what are we doing tonight, folks? I think we should review something. We've got a review for you that's out of this world. Well, actually, it's back on this world. When I think about it, it's on Earth.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. So,
did we call out Philip's story?
I did. Yes, Philip's story.
Okay, good. I just didn't want to miss him.
No,
hey, Philip. Hey, Philip.
Welcome, Philip. Absolutely, ishness. Oh yeah. What? Okay. So, Larry's saying, I'm lounging. He said something about 30 minutes ago. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway. So get your Blake 7 reviews ready. We'll go ahead and do our Blake 7 review first. How about that? Who's ready to review it?
Ready for Dumb and Dumber. Just kidding.
Ready.
Booksies.
I call them
Booksies. Yes, Booksies. There you go. You did it better. What?
Let me get the slideshow queued up.
Yep. Let's see. Let's review an episode of Blake 7, shall we?
Dun 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 dun.
Don't mislead us at all. Don't mislead us with the. No, I'm clipping some of the quotes. So
there's some. Yeah, we gotta. Now we gotta watch it with some of the. Keep getting racked for clips being too long. I don't know what it is. I can't, of all shows, for this to happen on as far as me getting tagged by YouTube and stuff, nobody even cares about this show but me. Damn it! I should own it. They should sign over title rights to me. BBC should say, look, nobody loves it more than you. Not even Max Redstall. This is a close second. So the show belongs to you now. You own it, Clobby. Clobby's 7. They may change the brand name to that. So you can do whatever you want. That's what they should do if they had any decency. Right. We know they're the BBC and they don't. Just saying.
Club 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, folks. So, shall we begin?
Yes. Can I be your Avon?
Yes, you may be Avon. No, you can gender swap Avon now? Yes, you can.
Oh, I don't know.
You can be Mrs. Avon. I'm just kidding.
Can I be Mrs. Avon?
Miss
Avon calling. Would you like some lip gloss?
Yes, Avon calling. People, in the States, that's what we would think of. But I mean, I've always wondered, Do they have like Avon Cosmetics as a business over there? Because when I first heard about the show, there was a character called Avon. It was the first thing that popped into my mind because Avon calling, yeah.
Yeah.
So don't know.
I don't know. I'm not
My British
British.
friends.
I'm not English.
Well, let's ask our English friends, and if any of you here, we do have some English friends that pop in from time to time. Matthew Pounder, Stuart Mitchell, Ezra. I think Ezra. I don't know if Ezra. Anyway, but some of our friends, a lot of our friends. So I'll have to ask them. So, all right, tonight's episode, folks. Hey, Duke Leacher Atreides. What?
Hey.
Hail to the Duke.
What's up, Cap? So, all right, tonight's episode is Pressure Point. It is episode 5 of season 2. I think that makes it like what 18 overall or something. Anyway, could be mistaken. All right, let me find my
Dex.
What?
Chris says Avon is international. It was in Oz, so I presume it was also in the UK.
Okay.
Ooh, salty traveling sea.
Hey, Salty, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Welcome, sir. Hope you're doing well tonight. All right, so tonight's episode is, of course, is Pressure Point. Written by, of course, Jerry Nation, directed by George Spenton Fullstar. It is, again, like I said, season 2, episode 5. And I don't know when it first aired because I don't even write that down, so it doesn't matter. It aired in 1979, I know that much. All right, so let's see. Synopsis. It was a Synopy time? Synopius time, I guess. Number 1, isn't it? I guess it is.
Yes. I'm sorry. Okay. I put it on mute because I'm looking for sound effects to torture you with. I beg your pardon, dear sir.
That's all right. No, that's cool though. But I do have one question for you though.
Yes, boss.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Just a question. Won't hurt you. All right.
Michael Beacom, go over to Clobby's house right now. Kick him in the leg and then run out the door.
Avon makes me think of Shakespeare first, but it is a UK-owned company. Okay. Oh, really? Okay. There you go. Thank you, Fiona. Anyway, so is the Liberator? Well, we open up on Earth, basically with a couple of knuckleheads who work for the Resistance. Surveying an area called the oh crap, microphone. Calling the Forbidden Zone, and I don't mean from Planet of the Apes. And they are looking for the Federation control system, complex that contains allegedly the computers that control all of the information going in and out of every planet. Controlled by the Federation, every planet and everything. It's all controlled from there, completely. The brain center of all operations for all of the federated worlds. You see, and it just so happens that these Resistance knuckleheads discover. They think they found the entrance to it, but they found a little bit more than they bargained for. They try to walk across it, and then there's because there are things underfoot that cause them to be trapped, and then they blow up on something that seems like some sort of a minefield. It's not really that, but it just kind of it acts that way. After they basically it's pretty dumb. They were told they didn't follow orders of Kasabi. They were told to go just look at it and then go back and report it. The young guy was chicken. The old guy was a jackass. Frickin' frat get blown up. Basically, boom, dummies. Dumb, but they're not the leader.
Yep.
And then we meet Kasabi, who is, of course, a brilliant woman who happens to have formerly been with the Federation, but for many, many years now has become one of the most well-known Resistance fighters on Earth. She and her daughter are there, but unfortunately, they are captured by Servalan and Travis. Meanwhile, on the Liberator... Sorry, I'll talk. Meanwhile, on the Liberator, I can't help but say it like that. I was
Just
the Liberator.
Just go with the flow.
You're good.
Meanwhile, on the Liberator.
Well, I didn't think I could say it on that, but anyway. Meanwhile, on the Liberator, we basically find that Blake has been studying in info. He's been gathering info for a very long time about Federation control, and as the crew has a meeting together, basically he tells them that it's time. He's tired of just hitting, as he put it, at the fingers and the legs, the arms of the Federation. He wants to really hurt them. It's time we hurt them.
Yep.
And of course, the crew's like, "What? Are you crazy?" Because he was just looking. The Liberator was just outside, kind of. They said he told them, he got them under false pretenses into the Earth star system. We're just going to look.
All right, I didn't expect you to welcome the idea. That's why I misled you just a little.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to.
It should be.
See, that made me so mad this time.
What?
Just
Blake.
Yeah. Like last time I watched it, do you remember I was like,
yeah,
well, Blake's got to do what Blake's got to do. And now, like, I'm watching it a second time, and now I've known about Blake 7 for a few years now, 2 or 3 years now, because of Clobby. I would not know anything about Blake 7 if it weren't for Clobby. And now all of a sudden, like, I have my feelings for Blake have changed.
Well, I still love the character, but the character's there to be not perfect. He is there he's there to show us that even if people who want to do the right thing can be fanatics and be very reckless and dangerous, this episode is about that. It is about showing how how people can become fanatics, and when they do, they're dangerous. They get people killed.
Yeah.
And they, well, we're going to buy you know what? I always forget to do this. Let's do it. Hang on. Where's I had a warning made. Oh, there it is.
Warning. Warning. Spoilers. Spoilers. Warning.
Yeah.
Andrew Robinson.
That'll work. Okay. So, even that. So, all right. So, anyway, yes. Blake wants, they thought they're under false pretenses. Like you said, he misled them. And even when Avon scoffs at him saying misled, he says, "Is my phraseology your only complaint?" Avon says, "No, but it is my only surprise. You didn't believe me." No, Blake, Earth has been on your mind for a long time. I never thought we would just come here to look. And so Blake just kind of, buckles down and admits it. He said, talking about a show in a country, Michael Bingham says, "You're talking about a show made in a country where they did have a real Guy Fawkes. Oh, yeah, and the Gunpowder Revolution. They know fanatics. Oh, yeah, look, no question about it. And Blake is one."
The fact remains, now that we have arrived at this episode, I have no idea how I had a walkie-talkie conversation with the captain of this vessel at 3:00 in the morning when he said to me, "Blake's a fanatic." And I was like, well, I don't know how I feel about that. That was how I felt the first time I watched that.
Really?
What the hell was I thinking? I need to be rovered. I need to be put through in the agony booth.
Some shows, Prisoner, Blake 7, Star Trek, whatever, you can watch them one time and go, "Wow, that was really good. I liked it."
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get to know them. You're gonna watch them multiple times. I mean, opinions. I don't know about. And again, maybe I'm one because maybe it's not just me, but maybe it is. Many of the greatest shows that I've ever watched that I've loved, even on certain episodes, shift, alter here and there. I change perspectives. I could watch it 16 times, and then when the 17th time, go, maybe that. I've been thinking about it this way for so long. And that's just me because I'm wishy-washy. I'm a fool. So these shows,
Captain.
A lot of people, so these shows are, and that's a testament to how good a show it is. It's deep. And it's just amazing.
The characters evolve too, which is great. Yeah.
They evolve.
Don Power Ranger.
Don Ranger Power. And I love Blake. But, he means well. There's no question about it, but a lot of fanatics do.
Yeah.
And that's spoilery, but we've spoiled the whole thing. There's a line in a certain episode when referring to Blake, Avon, and this is after Blake's gone. He says, he was talking about, he's very popular with rebels. They will follow him, and he will fight to the last drop of their blood.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah. Anyway, and that's what Avon says. So, yeah, Avon. Anyway, Avon was skeptical. He knew Blake was there for a reason, and Blake, of course, admits that he's even making contact with Kasabi, which again he felt no need to share with the rest of the crew. So the crew go off because basically we'll find out some other things in pretty much the next episode. We'll find out what Avon thinks about Blake's ability. Blake is a manipulator. Many charismatic leaders and are also fanatics usually, and they're great at manipulating people. So sure enough, Callie, Gan, Jenna, and Villa all go into the other room and they all talk it out, and then they decide to follow Blake. They're with him, which is again. Meanwhile, on Earth, Kasabi is being interrogated by Servalan. Again, some great character stuff there too. We find out that Kasabi was once Servalan's teacher, and she was one of the most well-respected people in the Federation. But she, of course, was became one of the most famous quote-unquote traitors to the Federation. Well, she is a traitor, and she got ratted out by a very young and very opportunistic young person, student or whatever. And it turned out that was Servalan, as Servalan confesses to Travis that was her, which he did not know, of course, at the time. I mean, it's a famous, in other words, obviously Kasabi's famous for that. Everyone knows who she is, but no, Servalan admits to Travis that that's who it was. And there's a lot of great interplay between Kasabi and Servalan, who is basically pumping her full of drugs to make her talk about where the rendezvous with Blake is, because and of course she's saying there is no rendezvous. She doesn't know Blake, but of course there is, and eventually there's enough drugs to make her talk. I mean, in the meantime, back on the Liberator, the rest of the crew tells Blake, "We'll back you up with only if you promise that if it looks like there's no chance or less than an even chance getting in, you'll pull out. You'll get us out of there." And then he says, instead of just saying sure, he's got this. The decision has got to be mine, though, right? Go.
Yep.
Yeah, not really, but they just agree to it. And I love. This one of my favorite scenes is when he goes and sits down next to Avon. He says, "The crew have agreed to go with me." Yeah, and Avon goes, "I thought they might. Not very bright, but loyal." And so
I'll be clipping that.
And he asks, it's great. And then he asks, Avon, he says, they kind of dance around a little bit. He goes, "Come on, Avon, you gonna go with me or not?" He said, "Well, of course." I'm surprised you ever doubted it. Frankly, your toughest problem is going to be the security system of the computers. I don't see how you can tackle them without me.
Frankly, I don't see how you can do it without me.
Right. So there you go. And Blake knew that, but he wasn't going to see. He knows he can't manipulate Avon,
right?
So he wasn't going to order him because he'd just go get stuffed. But Avon actually is going. And then you have one of my favorite conversations on the entire series when he goes, "You want to tell me why?" And he goes, "I like the challenge. You don't want to tell me why." And then basically Avon lays out his plans. With you running, if you succeed, with you running the campaign on Earth. With the campaign, they were going to need someone to lead to get all the other worlds together, and you will be the natural choice. He says, "Possibly, don't be modest, Blake. You are the only one that they would all follow." And basically, his ulterior motives. There's a pretty good scene where Blake says, he laughs and says, "You want the Liberator?" And he says, "Well, with you running everything down there, someone's got to take charge of all this." I love it, man. Avon
that was a brilliant scene.
It's brilliant, and Avon has to definitely convince himself and everybody that he's in it for himself ultimately, or he won't take chances. And this is a big chance, but even Avon's like, this is a pretty big chance to, it was risky trying to steal the credits he did that got him in jail in the first place. This is pretty risky stuff too, but man, the rewards are, if I could get this ship and all the things in it, and the Earth government would be starting to be run by somebody that likes me, even though I think I can't stand the son bitch. I don't know. Avon's scheming, and because in this world, he's pretty cynical, and everyone's cynical. This is a very cynical story. All of Blake 7 is. So what you got to realize, this is not Star Trek. It's the antithesis of Star Trek, which you would think I wouldn't love because I love Star Trek. Star Trek is where I want us to go. Blake 7 is where we're heading if we don't behave ourselves. So that's what I've always said about the show. But I just love it. I love these characters, and the nuances of writing is always fascinating to me. So we go down to the planet. Servalan is a great scene with Servalan and Kasabi, where Kasabi's pretty much dying. and she tells Servalan, "I'm sorry," which is kind of shocking. They had some harsh words before, and Servalan's kind of taken aback. And this is why Jacqueline Pierce is such a wonderful actress, and this is why Servalan, as rotten as horrible as she is such a brilliant character, because she actually, the look on her face when Kasabi says, I should have tried to help you when I realized how horrible, basically how sick and horrible you really are. And it hit her. And she did brush it off and just go back to her evil ways. But it hit her, and that was pretty interesting to me. Everything about the few this episode is full of so many wonderful character moments. That was a huge one. I love it. The character moments between Kasabi and Servalan, just powerful stuff for me. Anyway, they get the good night, Tex. Good to see you there, bro. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. Good night, Tex.
They're about to pull out.
Okay.
It's been an hour and something. Like they're about to say, "Well, let's get out of here." Avon, Blake's disappointed, but even he's about to do it. And of course, the last second receives the signal, but everybody else is still pretty skeptical because it's been so late. But that's when Blake really gets even more reckless and starts saying, "Well, no, it's going to be okay. Nothing's really planned." He's chomping at the bit, and he doesn't care about anybody's safety, or it doesn't seem like it. So they hey, Stephen S., good to see you. He teleports down, looks around, and then Gan comes in after him. They have a pretty interesting exchange about Gan and doesn't even know what a church is. And
that was interesting.
Blake's heard of one. He says basically the Federation had them all destroyed and burned down at the end of the beginning of the second calendar. Tell you a little something about the Federation, right? More insight into the Federation right there. So they go into this church. They find Kasabi's daughter, who is who was injured apparently, and telling them about what happened to her and whatnot. And anyway, they eventually Avon and Villa teleport down to where the facility is, and they find out that it is guarded, or it's mined with this very special, very powerful, security device under the grass that you step on it and you're dead meat. I mean, within a matter of seconds. And Avon cuts it, tests it, so it repairs itself in about 8 seconds, and it's pretty bad. And so eventually he ends up, Avon and Villa end up going to where Blake and Gan are with the young girl. As they're talking, she goes outside and then gas bombs them. And eventually when they wake up, their bracelets are gone. You might ask, why weren't their guns taken? I don't know. So, they're locked up. I love how they're locked up in the church, and supposedly she was supposed to seal it up, but they have to use the Incredible Hulk Gan to break out of it. And they're able. Blake, Avon, Villa, and Gan are able to get out of it and get out of there. And Blake basically figures we'll go to the one place is probably the most dangerous place. Maybe they won't look for us there, which he doesn't know that Travis is on his trail, I guess. But they go to the Forbidden Zone. They see the computer complex, and Avon, of course, being Avon, comes up. Hey, the Woke Breaker. Good to see you.
Woke Breaker.
Hey there. Welcome. Avon comes up with a plan, to get past the sensor mesh, the security stuff down on the ground, and which is pretty cool. Of course, he to fire an energy beam that will cut a trail through it, and you got about 8 seconds to run to the door, and so that was a pretty fun scene. They make it, and again, Villa can get in any lock, so they get in, of course. In the meantime, Travis is hot on their trail because he didn't expect them to get out of the church. They did. They are on, Travis and two mutoids go, they find it, and they call Servalan and ask, and it's not easy, but she's able to get the authority to turn the security system off so they can chase Blake in there to go apprehend Blake and the others. They go in, and then, who are you? Says Servalan. We don't see anything yet. We don't see who she's talking about later. Blake and the others finally, after going way down into this complex, getting through another security bit and stuff, and come to a very big door And at that big door, Blake believes lies behind it the key to the Federation, the brain of the Federation, the computer that controls everything in the Federation. Villa, of course, is able to eventually get into it. And then they walk into a big, empty, white room. And again, if you need any more insight into Blake, you know, when he started yelling, we've done it, we've done it, we've done it, I've done it. And there's nothing there. And I love this scene where he just, Avon, Blake, there's nothing here. And he falls to his knees and he's grabbing onto Avon like he's just devastated because he tell me he's not a fanatic. He's so a fanatic. And Elvis Travis starts laughing and tells them and gives them his invisible speech about how the Federation has moved the complex a long time ago, but they tell everyone it's here, so they'll be attacked, and it'll be people, all their enemies will think it's on Earth, but it's not on Earth. And Blake is a little bit put out by that. But before they're able to be caught, Severland shows up, orders Travis to let them go. He can't believe it. Why? Well, it's because Jenna was the smartest one in the entire episode. Went down and how she found Severland's base down there because they've been waiting there for like 18 hours before it all happened. Severland and Travis, and because they were trying to keep a lid on things, they didn't have a big force with them. Just a couple of mutoids, which was not necessarily all that smart. Like I said, a lot of people did some dumb things in this episode, but Jen is the smartest one of all. She takes them at gunpoint down there and forces Travis to let him go, takes her and the mutoids' guns. Blake basically says, looks like we both failed, Travis. They're running out. And then Travis, who's, Silverland's pretty pissed off at him. Travis, genius, comes out and he throws a strontium grenade at the fleeing Blake crew. With the help of Kasabi's daughter, who was lied to. She was trying to save her mother. Her mother was killed. I should have said that. Sorry. They're getting away. The strontium grenade causes some structural destruction. Blake and Gan are caught in it. Gan manages to get Blake out, pushing him out of the way, but of course, man, he falls under it, and Gan is crushed. Man, it still makes me sad every time. Gan is crushed, and he says to Blake, "I'm not worth dying for." His last words, and Blake eventually barely got out of there. He goes.
He dies with his eyes open.
He does.
Like
Ezra.
When I
I didn't
first
think he was dead.
watched him die, I was so sad. Shalom, Ezra Goldstein.
Shalom,
so nice
Ezra. Good to see you. Shalom.
Yeah, it's hard to get over Gan's death because, of course,
it's so horrible.
His character is fashioned after Little John. And so I just love him because he's the gentle giant. He's there to save everyone. He's there. He's so kind. And so, yeah, when he first died, do you remember when I walkie-talkied you?
Yes. And you
I
just
was
said
mad.
you were very upset. And I said, "Oh, you've seen that one." Because I was dreading you seeing that one in a sense. I'm like, oh my God.
I was mad.
You're not going to be thrilled about that because I knew how you felt about Gan. And I love him too. He's the only actor from the show I ever got to meet, David Jackson.
He's a sweetheart, but
great
it's
guy.
Just the whole idea of Little John, right? Like when you think of Robin Hood and you think of Little John, that's the guy who you just want to go walk up to and just give him a big bear hug or kiss his face. Like he's a big teddy bear.
Well, I tried that, but he said I'm not his type. So.
Oh, well, Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Like it's
no, I got you.
He's a man's man. He's very manly, and so guys want Little John as their friend, and women who like big teddy bears think Gan is the best thing since sliced bread. And so, in giving his life to save everyone, and for it to be so horrifically painful, excruciating death, and the way he dies with his eyes open, it's so bad. It wasn't any easier to watch than the first time I watched, but this time I wasn't quite as angry. The first time I felt so cheated and angry.
Yeah, it's
me and my monkey.
Make it my monkey. Hello there. Good to see you. Welcome. But again, you're supposed to feel it when people care. I mean, if you're not feeling it when a fictional character dies in a show or a movie, then the movie or show's not doing its job because of it's just sad, but that happens. And especially when it's a recurring character on a TV show that you've gotten you fond of, and we were all fond of Gan.
Yep.
So basically, even Blake shows up to the others, says, "Where's Gan?" He goes, "Gan's dead." Boom, like that. I mean, what else are you going to say? They end up offering to bring Kasabi's daughter with him, but she's going to stay on Earth. They go back to the Liberator, and again, this last shot. Before that, of course, Servalan is not too thrilled with Travis, and he says they'll dig us out eventually. She said, "Oh yes, they'll dig us out eventually. Then I'll bury you." Bump, bump, bump. Portents. And so the last shot of the Liberator bridge, flight deck, is a shot of Gan's empty chair. As the show's episode pressure point is over, and man, oh man, not a dry in the house for Blake 7 fans. It's just so sad, and we'll miss him. We will miss him. All right, number one, I'll turn it over to you. I'm sure you have notes and things to say about this episode.
The logic was impeccable, Captain.
Thank you so much for that summary, Clobby, and for all of your insights. I have some notes, though they're not extensive for me. Obviously, this isn't my favorite episode because Gan dies. And as you all know, my favorite stories are always about alien encounters. But this is a switch back to Terry Nation. And we feel it immediately because the quality of writing is just so good. Everyone here knows I love mutoids. I love sexy women who are like basically vampires, only these ones are horrific vampires because they just slam a glass or a metal straw into your jugular and then suck your life out. Mutoids.
Hate it when that happens.
Wow.
Right? And then of course we have Wussy Travis. This is the new Travis. And I love the opening scene.
Travis.
I love the opening scenes with his lumpy turd patch. Like it looks like he's holding a poop in his eye patch. The eye patch is terrible, and it's nothing like the real Travis, who had his skull blown off. And you completely imagine, cyborg. Anyway, I still want clarification on the Star of David on Travis's uniform. I would love it if someone somewhere could explain that to me. I hope it's a good thing. Terry Nation quality dialogue and storytelling, he makes this world feel real. That's what I wrote in my notes. And I do feel that. I feel like Terry Nation makes this world feel real. And I don't care about the low budget effects because I feel like I'm watching a stage play. And so I love it. Anyway, we learn that Servalan is a trained military personnel, not just a politician. And up to this point, we sort of have this impression that she's a politician. Here is where the viewer learns that she's not. She's been through some military training. She's not just a member of the aristocracy, although she is. And she has abused her caste or her caste, depending upon where in the world you are and how you want to pronounce that. I don't know how you ever doubted it, Avon to Blake, about helping him on Earth. He is a true friend. Avon is a true friend. And he is a very loving and kind person. He has problems expressing his intimacy. I think that he's an INTJ and he's not super good at intimacy. And so if there was any doubt that Avon is a truly deep, compassionate, loving, and loyal person. Just take one look at Paul Darrow's face when he says, "I don't know how you ever doubted it." So yeah, anyway, everyone knows I'm also an INTJ, so I love Avon. We learn Avon, like me and like Spock, does not want power or a political position. And I think that this is really important. In revealing. Some people focus on the fact that he's asking for the Liberator, but as someone who thinks more like Spock, more like Avon, like my husband always says, this is really about showing that Avon isn't interested in rising to the upper echelons of society, taking political control. He doesn't care about fame. He doesn't care about money, although he often says that, you know, he would like this amount of money and this amount of money for the liberator and to cash in the jewels and things like that. This reveals that he doesn't care about any of that. He has no ego to bruise. He wants a quiet life, and he'll stand by his friends as they wage this war and do these things because he loves being around them. But if they all found peace and no one was pursuing them anymore, he would certainly love to head to a small island in Ireland like me and never be heard from ever again. I love Avon, as you all can tell. Servalan has corrupted the Federation. This is incredibly important. Once again, this might be something that the average viewer might just hop right over. Don't hop over this. This is a full conversation about the fact that this one woman who was connected through the aristocracy, through this higher caste or caste system, has worked that power into the Federation to get rid of all of the good people who were in it. So it follows rhetorically that the Federation was once free and fair. And we see this through this confrontation about the corruption, how she has corrupted the Federation. So there really is something to fight for here. You're not fighting Darth Vader.
Short clip on that one, very short, but
yeah, the Federation is degenerate, run by creatures like her.
Yes.
So, anyways, you're not fighting the dark side. This isn't total evil. This Federation has once had good people at its helm, but this aristocrat who was very well connected managed to pull together all of the evil people she knew to sort of seize control of this Federation. So this is really, really great storytelling. This is world building, and we shouldn't just hop over it. This not only Terry Nation is not only signaling to the viewer, to the reader, to the person who loves the show, just how evil Servalan is, but also the fact that even a Federation with good people at the helm, if you get the wrong people involved, they can tear that Federation apart. So that's a lot to process if you care about what that implies about our own society. I absolutely love the self-repairing security systems, the little robots. That technology we're getting closer and closer to making that technology a reality. So I think it's super cool. I love that Gan says I needed a pacemaker because, of course, he runs across and he's following Villa, and by pacemaker, he means, you know, how fast do I have to run in order to survive? But then it's so funny because Villa says, yes, me too, in my chest. So one is speaking of the pace setter amongst, you know, horses racing or whatever. And Villa's talking about the pacemaker. His heart has failed. So I think it's cute. There are wonderful locations and wonderful lighting. The sets and locations and lighting are amazing in this episode. And the second Servalan dress. Oh my gosh. She is a walking sex pot.
Yes, she is.
And then, of course, unfortunately, Gan is killed, and that breaks my heart. And I'm not happy about it. I still have the same reaction, but I'm not quite as angry as the first time I watched it because they killed Little John. And so I found it to be very sad. It's not very satisfying. Anyways, this episode is amazing. I love Terry Nation because he'll even make me watch this kind of sci-fi where I'm more kind of like, you know, the creatures and the crazy planets and all of these experiential things, I guess you could say. So it's not my highest grade, but I still have to grade it really high because I love Terry Nation and I love his storytelling. And I love that his storytelling is cerebral. It treats me like an adult. It's careful with the details. And when you go back and process what you've watched, you feel really satisfied and it makes you go, okay, so wow. So this Federation, like, I just want you to think about what's happening in our world today, and think about how there is an entity in our world today that is a signal for goodness all over the world, freedom and goodness. And when you get bad people involved, you can dismantle that mechanism, that goodness. And so it's just, yeah, this kind of writing stands the test of time, and it fits in many places as we try to figure out what we feel and what we believe. And so for that, this is quality science fiction. I give it a 6.5 out of 7, despite the fact that there are no aliens in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one thing I love about the show. It is, the setting is about him fighting his war, but they have other episodes where what you're talking about, the science fiction episodes, they're more about that kind of stuff and ideas. They mix the two, that or the science fiction setting with the political intrigue and stuff like that as well. So they mix them both. Like, well, you'll see next week, for example.
Exactly.
So what did you give it again? What was your rating?
I gave it a 6.5 out of 7 due to the quality writing techniques.
I just didn't hear you.
And I think that's there are many points in this story that are so well told that they could be stories unto themselves. And that's just a credit to Terry Nation. I love him, and I doff my cap to him.
Indeed. Well, excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. Number one, Mark, your views on the episode.
Yeah, I mean, great episode. Of course, everyone loves Gan, and unfortunately, he doesn't make it out of this episode. First, I'm like, oh, are they going to bring him back somehow? Or like, no, he was, he's dead. I mean, you think, they're gonna, maybe do a cheap teaser like some shows do, or leave you hanging. But no, they just as you watch it and Blake leaves, it's like, oh, he's dead. And one reason he was barely in last week's episode was because that episode was supposed to be after this episode, so I didn't want to talk about it without spoilers last week. But that's why he's knocked out for most of the episode and only has a few lines, because the original script already had him passing. So that's why he unfortunately had a extremely small part in that episode. But I love the the give and take in this episode, going back, going back and forth, and the trick of the Federation actually setting up their Fort Knox of information, their whole control center, and then actually having it not there, and have in that line where they said it was moved 30 years ago, and Travis doesn't even know where it is. But I guess, well, Serverland, they all knew there was nothing there. I guess that was one of my questions when they say you've got to unlock it and open it. But I guess the reason is they have to keep up the charade. So probably only a few, Serverland and Travis and maybe a couple other high-ranking Federation officials, I'm assuming only they know that the real, the real location of the real truth. So they keep having everyone's fighting to get in this one location, and they can't, they can't do it. And then they're capturing, all the rebels, and there's really nothing there. So there's nothing there for them to do. But that part is brilliant. And just, the Serverland is just so good in this episode, wearing that all white. First she's wearing that hat, and we're having fun at the watch party, but yeah, she's talking about how good her performance is and how good she looks doing it, being so damn evil. Stereotypically the bad guys, is the monster, or the big goon, or that's why we like the Benjamin Grimm, the Thing. Everyone thinks he's gonna be the monster, but he's the good guy. And Serverland, if you saw in a bar, you might want to try to buy her drink, but then it could end up with poison in it. Maybe you don't want to ask her out. But yeah, that's what makes this episode so good, and it really hits it homes. And of course, it has the great lines in it that we come to expect from Blake's Seven. So like, here's another one of Avon's lines.
Do you want to tell me why? I like the challenge.
I like the challenge. He's just this character. It's just so good. And
you don't want to tell me why?
You don't want to tell me why. Well, I kept it very, very short, but
No.
yeah, that whole no, it's okay. Yeah, but that whole discussion between Avon and Blake, you can see the machinations going. The gears are turning in Avon's head and Blake's at the same time, realizing, well, we both are out for what we want, right? And it'll kind of work out. And then there's an inference there, of course, of Avon taking control of the Liberator, and Blake says, "What? Not too soon?" Or what's his line?
At first, he says, "Sooner or later, I will have my chance." And he goes, "There's no hurry."
There's no hurry.
That was the exchange. Yes, I could quote the whole thing, but it would take every bit of it.
Take.
But I can do it, believe it or not.
I know you can. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you about an episode when I first watched it, and then you're telling me, my God, you keep saying you have a bad memory, but not for Blake 7.
I do, but that's different. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. And of course, the character, what's her name? I was calling her
Kasabi.
Kasabi. I was calling her.
It's probably
all night.
Kasabi. Yeah.
Kasabi. Yeah, but I had I had sushi tonight, which you would have not enjoyed. So with a lot of wasabi. But
in fact, I don't even enjoy that you had it. That's how much I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but she is great. She's great in this episode. Her daughter's a good actress. But this line here, taking down Serverland.
You were a credit to your background. Spoilt, idle, vicious.
And that's what Raquel was picking up too. Credit to your background. So, I mean, Raquel never misses anything. That's why I love having her notes and reviews. But first time around, I didn't really catch that. But she's talking about how the next line is, as you said, how high up and connected she is. So, she was tagging her as not fit for duty, but it didn't matter because Serverland is obviously being protected, and in the military, and she's got connections through her family,
she's the supreme commander, so she was in the military, I guess.
Yeah, but moving on up, I guess she, it seems like Kasabi was her superior at one point and would have told her,
good night, Penny.
She's not.
Sorry.
Take care, Penny. Yeah, saying
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mark. Good night, Penny. Thank you for making Clobberin Times and this channel and all of these people a part of your nightly routine. Sleep, sweet lady.
Good night. Good night.
Yes, indeed.
Bonne nuit.
Sorry, Mark. Please continue. I'm sorry about that.
All good. Yep. Yeah, she's. You talk about it when I should have tried. Should have tried to help you in the beginning, which is is she redeemable? I don't think she's redeemable, but and then of course her daughter.
She was younger then, though, so
maybe.
Yeah, but a lot of people discuss this idea in philosophy that when you meet someone who's truly evil and you have an opportunity to enlighten them or to influence them or to massage them towards goodness, it really, I think that's what Terry Nation's trying to get at. Are some monsters born monsters? And are some monsters created?
And we'll never know, probably, but yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I think that's what he was trying to do with that. And I also really like that part as well, Mark. Like, I love that part a lot because that's what Terry Nation was asking us. Are deranged lunatics just made, or are they born that way, or is it both?
Nature and nurture?
Yeah, can we ever help someone like Serverland? And boy, you just walk away from that thinking, wow,
she was raised with no morals, no scruples, and she has extreme power issues. I mean, she craves power.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point of mania, and and yet go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, I think there's true evil in the world that can never be redeemed. Unfortunately, I think
it's true. I agree with you.
There's devils out there. There's just evil people, and there ain't no redeeming them. Some people can be redeemed. Some people turn their, life around. But like they had the guy that was on that was on one of these victim, or to help, rehabilitate criminals. He was just on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago, and now he's in big trouble because, I got to say allegedly, but he was found, taking bodies out with suitcases or doing certain
Jesus.
things after, possibly involved in a murder. And of course in New York they can't arrest them because that's a no bail thing right now. That's for discussion for another show, or another political show. But yeah, so there's certain people I think that are just pure evil, and there's just nothing.
I agree.
Nothing you can do about them.
But it shows what, in doing this with the writing here, Terry Nation is asking us for not only for this consideration philosophically, where we stand on this, but it definitely shows how idealistic and marvelous the Federation used to be, and perhaps why it became vulnerable. Here's someone who is torturing you to death, and the last words you say to them were, I wish I would have helped you when you were younger. I wish I could have.
She said, "I'm sorry." Yeah.
I wish I could have accessed whatever good is inside of you. And so what is Terry Nation offering there? I think he's offering the same thing you are, Mark. And that is that sometimes you can be so caring and so idealistic. You can be so open-minded that your brain falls out. And it's really important to recognize irredeemable evil as a force that you can't reshape. You can't reshape. And so this is what I mean when I say that I find this show so cerebral and so enjoyable. I mean, you and Clobby and I, we sit here and we talk about this show like we're talking about a book. And this is just some cheap TV show. I mean, the writing is just so good here, and there's so much on offer intellectually and philosophically. So anyway, I also enjoyed that that particular section and those ideas. So, but I didn't want to derail you, so I'll give you back the floor. And I'm so sorry for that.
No, it's great having the give and take. No, I love that. Yeah, and I think everyone in the audience hopefully enjoys that too. But yeah, it's and that's why these characters are so well rounded. Yes, the special effects aren't, they don't have $1 bazillion for the effects, but they do what they can with the costumes, and they do what they can with the scenery and the locations. And yeah, you can recognize there's a power plant, and maybe it's the same ladder going up and down, and hey, it's not as fancy as a Jeffries tube, but you just got to enjoy the characters and the dialogue and how much depth there's in the dialogue. So you're picking up all that stuff on Serverland just from that exchange there, which is not it's not a big exchange there, but the words are carefully written, and it makes a big difference having Terry Nation, who's someone who cares so much about this, and the continuity is very important to him. You can tell. There's always little minor slip ups here and there, but on this show, not very many. I mean, there's really not. You look at the wikis, there's like, where are the mistakes? And there's there's no mistakes.
It's passion. It's passion, right? Isn't it? It's like,
and they
it
care.
Reminds me so much of Gene Roddenberry. This is another point that you're making that I love, Mark. And that is that when you have somebody who's very passionate and really cares about something that they've made, and it's an artist, not a corporation, look at the results. It's so different, isn't it? It's just so different.
Yeah, it's just they know what they're doing on this show. So
so good.
Professionals.
It's so good. They're guardians, they're caretakers of the ideas. They respect the audience. They're trying to cultivate the audience. They're trying to impress the audience. They're, come nearer. I have more to tell you about this crazy world I have in my head. And corporations just can't do that, can they?
No. Never will. But you got to have someone that cares about, like you said, cares about, and you got to care about what you're doing, and you have a passion for it, and it's the old cliche, if you're doing what you love, you ain't working, and that's true in many ways. I mean, not that you don't get tired or run down, but then you get a satisfaction about doing it. Like being on YouTube with you guys and hanging out. Once in a while I'm tired, but I just have such a great time doing it. So, sometimes, some people consider it, quote unquote, oh, I got to go on YouTube today or do it for, the shekels. But no, it's a lot of fun. And the same thing, I could see that, we had a family business for years. So when you care about something, once in a while you're tired, but it's more important that you're doing something that you really love and care about. You can
Yeah.
tell Blake 7 that you know, they really pay attention and they do the best they can with
Yeah.
you know, with the very limited budget that they had on this show, which we've talked about many times. But and I was kind of hoping at the end that the daughter would come and join the crew. And I guess I do have a couple of show notes I found on the wiki. I might as well mention those now because they tie into what I'm talking about. But let's see, story notes. Gan is the first regular, and this, let me put the wiki page in so we give them credit. Here's the Blake 7 wiki, and you can add to it too. So I've been adding stuff to it. Been adding some quotes that I think they.
You're a good man, Mark D with a C. You're a good man. Correct that grammar.
Yeah.
Add those facts.
Yeah, add those facts. Yep. Gan is the first regular character to die. Terry Nation originally suggesting killing Villa. Thank God he didn't. I love Villa. But David Maloney and Chris Boucher considered the character too popular. Gan was pretty popular too, but I guess he's a little bit more reserved. Yep. Gan and Callie were suggested as alternatives, with Gan being chosen to avoid Jenna as the only female regular. Orak does not appear in this episode. One proposed storyline had Veron deliberately killing Gan as part of her betrayal and then joining the Liberator, with the murder not being discovered until later in the season. Wow. And that's the daughter, I think, Veron, right? Wasn't that Veron?
Yeah.
Veron?
What did it say again? It said killing what discovered?
One proposed storyline for this episode, you know, one of the draft scripts or draft ideas had Veron deliberately killing Gan as part of her betrayal and then joining the Liberator, with the murder not being discovered until later in the season. So, you know, killing Gan to get a spot, maybe. Yep.
Wow.
It's a first episode where Jenna and Serverland meet. Or the next line is a potential spoiler, so I won't read that. In the scene where Blake runs across the minefield, was rehearsed so the charges will go off just behind him. Unfortunately, when the charges went off for real, Gareth Thomas started to run a lot faster, causing the man setting off the charges to fire the rest at once before he got too far away. So if you notice that, so that's not a problem. I can see where I'm gonna start running, because they're real charge. I mean, they're military charges, but they're real.
You better hustle your buns. So
Yeah,
he kicked it into a higher gear there,
right?
That's
And
pretty funny.
Gan takes off too. I'm like, Gan, no, you're not. You're like Haas. You're not gonna make it. You're a fullback. I would never made it.
I have just the perfect clip for that. for that tidbit. Here you go.
Maximum warp.
Maximum warp. Yep.
Maximum warp. Oh God, that's pretty funny.
Let's see here. And then they say, the end credits to the separate scroll over different space background to the others. The dark blue galaxy is visible in a completely background for the credits, from series deviser to producers. I don't know if they did that because Gan died or just to change it up. But you remember on 24, the TV show's main character passed away. They would play the end credits without any sound.
Right. Beep, beep, beep,
yeah, just the
beep.
beep. So if the main character got killed. Yep.
How many more of these are there?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that was it. Yep.
We should usually save that segment till we've all done our review.
Oh, well, I'm have a limited brain sometimes.
No, I'm just saying.
Sorry.
Just saying. No, we learn.
Yeah, we learn, right? But I try to be very loyal, but sometimes I'm not so bright.
The others have decided to go with me. I thought they would. Not very bright, but loyal.
All right, see, I got that segment worked in there. Yeah. And of course, the one that's so damn tragic is of course Gan passing here.
No! I'm not worth dying for!
A hero always goes out saying he's not worth dying for. Or if you notice, Gan was the one to try to hold the door up, and
he saved Blake's life.
He
saved his life. So
he gave his life for his friends.
Yeah. So that was very, very well done. But it's a really touching episode too. The way that no one wants to believe that a main character is is gone. So usually it's a minor character on a show that gets the axe, unfortunately. But yep, it was good stuff this episode.
Rating?
My rating is a 7.
I mean, rank. Great. Oh, okay.
Rating.
No, rating. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm giving this
cool.
I'm giving this a 7. Yeah, I thought this was just damn fine TV and damn fine plot, and it kept you guessing the whole time. The rebels on the ground, from that opening scene, oh, well, we can do it. We can do it. We can go through this minefield. Nothing's gonna happen, right? We'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, we got to go in and report something. So yeah, I just love this. And of course, all right, the very, very last clip. You got to love Serval. And Travis, I guess the new Travis, I thought he was on second watch. I think he's a little bit better having watched him.
I'm used to him now.
Yeah,
I watch this, you get used to him. I mean,
you get used to him.
It's the show that matters.
Yeah, but the first time I watched this, I'm like, oh, he's horrible. But he's not. He gets better as
everybody said that.
Yeah, but then watching him second time around, I'm like, he wasn't so bad. But
you do get used to him. But the thing, Ravenscroft said something that I starred. Ravenscroft said, like, I didn't buy the same tension from this Travis and Raj, and I feel the same way. Like, I don't find this Travis as threatening, but Clobby is right, and Clobby usually is right. You get used to him, and I think it's not just us getting used to him. I think he improves, but right now he's wussy turd patch. But it's going to get better.
I think, as a matter of fact, I believe next week he gets better. But anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. They'll dig us out eventually. And then I'll bury you.
That was timed perfectly. Raquel said, oh, yes, too.
Well, all right. Well, here we go. My turn. For the first time, since we have begun, since we started reviewing this show, for the first time, we have broke my top 10.
Oh, wow.
And it's number 10. I have it ranked at my number 10 episode. I have a rating of 7+. Wow. Not just 7+. It's a 7+. It made, when a show can make you feel so many things as this one does, it's brilliant. And for all the things I don't have to go that far. We've already, hey, Picasso, good to see you.
Picasso.
All of it, from the characterization to the brilliant dialogue, the brilliant script, to the fact that they killed, I hate that they killed Gan as well.
Yeah.
If you'd given me the choice and they said, do you kill Gan? Do we keep him on the show? I say keep him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't detract from the fact that it does add something to your drama. Now, for example, I think you could do it too much. And this is an example. Let's just take Joss Idiot Whedon, for example. I love the show Firefly. That asshole, when he did the movie Serenity, killing Shepherd Book, I was like, yeah, it's sort of like an Obi-Wan type thing. When Obi-Wan Kenobi dies in the first Star Wars, you love him, and you hate to see him die, but on the other hand, it's very serviceable to the story. Right? It makes sense, even though you don't like any character that you like to die, but it's serviceable to the story. And so even Shepherd Book, as much as we liked the character, we knew we probably weren't getting the show back. He's a terrific character. They kill him, and it means something in Serenity, the movie. But then they murder Wash, and I'm like, why in the hell? That was the Star Wars equivalent of, not only Obi-Wan gets killed, but a few minutes, about an hour, 20 minutes later, they kill Chewbacca with a spear through the chest. You'd be like, this movie's a bummer. It's killing everybody.
One thing I want to say to you.
You're a dumbass.
What the fuck are you doing when
I'm sorry about that.
when I'm reviewing stuff?
Sorry, Clobbering Tales.
It's all right. I mean, I'll live, but all right, this was good. Anyway, where was I? I don't know. But anyway, it would have been, he is a dumbass for that. I don't know what I got anymore. I've kind of
No.
derailed
Let's
a
go
little bit.
back because I like what you were
No,
saying.
that's
because
fine.
I feel the same way about Gan being Chewbacca.
But
I feel that same way. That here you have this big, kind, loving person who's there for the benefit of everyone, and everyone loves him, and he's clearly the most benevolent, the most what word am I looking for, Clobby? He's like, it's not just that he's likable. He seems the most moral or the most grounded. And so, yeah, anyway, please continue because I love that you made it like Chewbacca.
But the thing is, my point is, if in Star Wars, Lucas had gone too far, killing one character, it was serviceable to the story. Killing Chewbacca would have been gratuitous.
It would have been a disaster.
In Serenity, it was going to... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say they were going to kill him in the new crappy Star Wars. And
but my point is, Serenity. I want to get to my point is Serenity, which was a good movie until the point where they murder Wash, and you're like, this is so uncalled for. What Whedon's an asshole for doing that because we already had one that anyway. However, that's going too far. Terry Nation killing his own character like this is not going too far. I don't like losing Gan, but I can understand him wanting to add certain gravitas, killing a character. And if you do it, don't do it all the time. Don't do it every week. So let's say he killed Gan right there. Then 5 minutes later, he kills Villa or something. That would have been like, okay, come on. You're just being an a-hole. But somebody dying in a very dangerous situation like that not only adds to the gravitas of this story, but future stories. The next one, for example, Trial, which we'll see next week, Trial.
Can I please ask why this happened? Does anyone know why this happened? I mean, you remember when I completely lost my shit the first time I watched him being killed. I'm like, why did they kill Little John, Clobby? Why did they kill Little John? Do you know why, Clobby?
You mean, but Nation just thought it was time to. As far as you talk about a network decision, like Mark was saying, they talked about doing it. They were going to kill a character, and they talked about Villa. I mean, if you're saying that they dislike David Jackson or something like that, I don't think so. He was trying to decide. They're going to be doing all these dangerous things on the show. It's going to get somebody killed because he was just. I think it was for realism's sake. I'm not a big
changing actors, or he didn't have a new gig or something.
No. I don't think so.
As far as you know, yeah.
No,
I don't.
Okay.
No, because nobody else came on the show.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
But again, I don't know that now someone else may know more than I do about that because I haven't read anything about it recently. But what I would say is, and I'm not a big fan of the term realism, but some writers that means something to them and stuff. So I guess he figured, look, they're always going on these dangerous, adventures and stuff like that. Eventually, it's going to catch up to them, get them killed. I think the why was that, and he said, I'm going to kill a character. When you do that, that means you're, in essence, you're firing or you're getting rid of one of your actors. So obviously the network people are going to say, wait a minute, you're killing somebody. It's not like you could just write it. Oh, we're filming this today. Hey, you're out of a job. Wait, we didn't want him to be out of a job. So if he said, hey, all right, Michael Keating who plays Villa, we're killing you. You're out. And the network will have something to say about that. So he does have to get permission because it's not, they would say, well, wait a minute, he's popular. He's more popular than Gan. So you're keeping him. So Gan was the low man on the totem pole for that. I mean, I love Gan. But I do love Villa more, I think. And they're not going to kill one of the girls because you only have 2 girls. So, ladies, sorry, everybody. So,
no, after you hit a certain age, I appreciate Southern gentlemen like you calling me a girl. You and Larry, you can call me a girl anytime you want.
But I did mean ladies, girls. Whatever, it's cool. You call us boys.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean, sweetheart.
So it was going to be one of the boys, and low man. No way would they get rid of Blake. It's still his show at this point. No way they're going to get rid of Avon. He's the most popular character on television in there, just about certainly on that show. And everyone loves Villa, so they said, well, he's kind of, I hate to say it, he's not expendable and he's not stupid, but he was expendable. And so he's not giving, but he did. So he was expendable. He's not really stupid, but he was going.
Yep. I like what Ravenscroft said though too about this issue, because Ravenscroft has broached something that I feel, and that is that Gan is Little John, and so he doesn't really require redemption, does he? We already love him. We already feel terrible for him. And his life has been horrible. They killed his wife and then stuck that chip in his head when, you know, he shouldn't have even been prosecuted for it, because the person who killed his wife, you know, deserved what he did to them. But the thing is maybe if we're sitting down and we're talking about this as a show, we sort of say to ourselves, well, it's just, this is all probably just on Terry Nation's lap. Maybe he got some advice from those around him, but this is his show, basically. Maybe he sort of said to himself, you know, there'll be some satisfaction if Gan passes away, but if Villa passes away, not only do we lose this guy who's, you know, sort of like one of those crazy chipmunks, Chip and Dale. He's got that sort of crazy chipmunk personality, and he's great with Avon. But it's also the fact that he needs to redeem himself. He's not a good guy. He's a thief. He's a lockpick. He's the Pink Panther. He's a cat burglar. He still needs redemption. So yeah, that was, I don't know. I totally agree with you, Clubby. That is such a difficult decision, and I can't believe that decision was made. And I was so angry when I first.
But Villa Villa brings way more to the table as a character. His banter with Avon alone is priceless.
Yeah.
And you know, the only one I don't want to say he's expendable, but I would have kept Gan and just had him get injured, maybe to bring him back to the ship. He's okay. Now, again, David Jackson might have wanted off the show. I've never heard him say it, but he might have just, you know, had some other gigs to go take care of, or maybe he knew he wasn't going to stay for the rest of the series, or maybe he just signed on to do a few episodes. I don't know. But I think Terry Nation also wanted to be able to show a death that it would, and it was powerful, because it was powerful going on.
Stakes.
The next episodes, there's stakes. He wants to show that there's stakes. Yeah. You know, we wouldn't put up with that on Star Trek, and rightly so. We don't want McCoy to get killed or Scotty to get killed. You know, obviously, so that's why they always killed, you know, people that were just not there as main characters. They never killed. Now, there were some people that would criticize that and say, wait, no, there's no stakes. No one ever gets killed. We don't care. We still love them, so they don't need to be killed. However, this is not that kind of a show. So, anyway, that's what I think. And what I love the writing, love everything about this episode, even though it kills me. It's brutal. David Jackson was terrific as Gan. He was a wonderful character. He was a very loved character, and it's sad.
And I'm never going to forget you comparing him to Chewbacca. That was a stroke of genius on your part.
Well, I was mostly comparing Wash to Chewbacca, but I was saying, you know,
but it's the same mechanism. It's the same mechanism.
He's beloved like Chewbacca, yeah.
Yeah, and
it's lovable, lunk, you know, that you like, the big guy, the gentle giant that you,
the gentle giant who everybody loves.
On Bonanza,
yeah. But Chewbacca, just the minute he said Chewbacca, and Clobby was reaching for something that would be tantamount to overkill. I think that was a beautiful correlation there, because that's the lovable lug, the gentle giant, the guy who everyone loves, who's just there for his friends. So anyway, love that.
I was using my analogies. Hey, Wes Cagle, good to see you. And interestingly enough, I've never ever used that for Blake Seven or for Gan. I always used it for Serenity and Firefly, because even though Chewbacca doesn't talk, he's just like, you don't need another death in Star Wars. The one of Obi-Wan Kenobi fits the purpose in the story beautifully. And as my example was, if you kill Chewbacca, everyone would be a downer. The movie would end on too much of a downer. Serenity, the same deal. You lose Seth Shepard book in an Obi-Wan Kenobi type of a way, almost, not exactly. And then you murder Wash, who's sort of the heart and soul of the humor of the show, of Firefly. And it was like, and so I always attribute that to, but then I use that as an example of overkill with going too far with killing characters just for no reason. Yeah. Now on Buffy, it was such a great show that he did kill characters from time to time on Buffy, but that's a show that's went on for 7 years. Over like if Firefly lasted 5-6 years and characters died once in a while, that's one thing, and it's still brutal. But it only been 14 episodes. What?
It doesn't watch that at the spoiler at the very end of
at the end, right before.
Yeah, it was almost like Yeah,
right
like
before
it's like
the big final fight. Yeah.
Right, so it's almost like a well, that doesn't do the character any service either. It's not like
he takes a telephone pole through the chest, basically.
Yeah, so they could have
And it
kept the
sucks.
character alive. Yeah,
everyone loved Wash, and you murder him. Everyone loved Chewbacca, and like I said, if they'd murdered him in the movie, you'd be like, "Man, I was enjoying this," and and now that's horrible to do that to the big Wookiee guy. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah,
now this is a different thing from Star Wars. This is a more serious, grounded, down to earth. I don't mean he's a pun or anything. Show that has a lot more weight in terms of the type of drama it is, and it means more when you kill one character. But like I said, if they'd gone on to kill another one in the same episode, you'd be like, okay, now you're just being annoying. You're overdoing it.
And now you've set the investment and the stakes against one another, and and you've pushed the audience too far. Still very interesting, because in TOS I don't think we had a Chewbacca, but when we look at TNG, we very clearly have a Chewbacca, right? And that's and it's so funny because in TNG he's very clearly Chewbacca, but when we get to DS9 they destroy the character, and they turn him into something else. But I just I like it when your mind goes this way. And of course I took comparative literature in university, and so I love it when you digress and you do the things like this, because I just find it most enjoyable. So thank you, Clobby. Clobby, you should know that our buddy RRTNZ walked through the door, and I think he dropped you a gift, boss.
First of all, and by the way, I'll get to that one in a second. I thought I had it here. Oh, here we go. RRTNZ, good to see you, my friend. He said, when Hamlet bellowed out damn spot and cut a pound of flesh from Julius Caesar in fair Verona after 12 nights with a shrew, it was not to be. Wow.
You are naughty, and I love you. I love you.
Thank you, RRTNZ. Appreciate you. It's good to see you. Never stop. I mean, because it's always fun there. So anyway, I loved it. Man, I'm seeing that scene right now. Oh my god!
Sorry,
no, it's all right. I was supposed to make you feel that way, though.
Yeah,
no,
but
we didn't feel it.
Even with his acting, that actor did not get as much screen time as everyone else.
True.
And I challenge anyone with any prejudice against this low-budget science fiction show. I challenge anyone to go and compare that performance of him dying. I cannot believe his death scene, and just his eyes staring so blankly, and his face is so still. Not only does he give like oh wow, like the performance is just such high quality, and yeah, they killed my Chewbacca, they killed my Little John. Yeah,
terrible. Right.
Pardon?
He's my horse caught right. Bad burn it, Little Joe. All righty. Did you have any more clips or no?
Nope, I think that's all I think we got all
Thank you for clipping them, by the way.
Yep, you're welcome. Yep.
Appreciate that.
It's just just it gets you seeing that. But and I was just checking David Jackson's IMDb, and after Blake 7, he just did a Potter TV series for 3 episodes, Danger on Dartmoor Police Sergeant. But I guess it's 1 episode. But so it's not like he took he had a gig where he was had main character. I guess Danger on Dartmoor. Oh, it's a TV movie. Looks like one. So you could see where not that we like in Deep Space Nine when what's her name leaves for Ted Danson's show.
Yeah, Terry Farrell. Yeah.
Terry Farrell, thank you.
Right. Not like that.
Not like that. It looks like that was a decision, and people have talked about Game of Thrones, and spoiler. One of the main characters gets killed at the end of the episode. They all say that's the shocking thing about Game of Thrones too. But then you kind of get to expect it, but when it happens in this show, I was blown away.
Can I?
Well, tell you what. Let me get to Ravenscroft real quick because he reviews.
Sorry.
So good. All right, Ravenscroft. I know you've been waiting to have your review read. I'm going to do it right now. I'm sorry you had to leave. I'm sorry we took so long to get to that. And if I had no idea you had to get out earlier, I would have done it sooner. I apologize, but here it is right now. And Ravenscroft says, game changer that shows real stakes of rebelling against tyranny. Blake makes good on his promise to return to Earth, but his zeal and recklessness cost Gan's life. Many gems, a glimpse into Serverland's past. Kasabi is great supporting character. A good moment for Jenna and so much Blake Avon. Yes. Sad to see Jackson go, but his farewell was a dignified one.
Yeah.
Totally in character.
Agreed.
Avon's, come on, Blake. Come on, Blake, and hand on Blake's shoulder in the empty room, a sharp contrast to his outward sniping.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to care, but does. Yes, I agree with that. He says, real consequences for Blake and his quest. This will reverberate. The White Knight is now tarnished, and he knows it. Crew dynamic is never the same. Very good.
What an excellent review. Thank you so much, Ravenscroft, and good night. And
Ravenscroft, if you're still there, I'm so sorry. Next time, let me know you need to get out early, and I'll try to get to it quickly. I apologize. I hope you got to hear that, but if not, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to have to interject again, so I'm sorry, but I have noticed another one of us must retire for the evening, and it's Fee Fi Fo from Fee. She says, good night, everyone. Good night, Princess Fiona. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night, Fee.
Good night.
Ravenscroft said a couple of things. I'll get to him real quick. He said something to Fiona. He said initially wanted Villa to go, but the network said no because they knew it was popular. So, and by the way, Terry, how dare you kill Villa? No way, man.
Can't kill Villa.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't like killing Gan, but no, Villa. I mean, I can't take it. Villa is so crucial. He should have known that. I never really feel the rivalry between Travis and Blake. That's the one you mentioned.
Yeah,
earlier.
I spoke about that right away.
Oh, and I will say that I thought Boucher did better in this one, and I think he gets better next week. So, anyway, the next question is: would the rest of the crew follow Avon? Gan wouldn't have. Jenna would have clashed with him. Callie would likely have joined the reconstruction, and Villa would probably want to stay with him for all that money. All right, so let's get some other reviews. Before Max's review, he read a member chat. He said Blake done get Gan killed. He did. Okay, Max Redstone says A-, 5.5 out of 7. Okay. My rank 15. Wow, that's a low rank for number 15, buddy, but I'm not criticizing you. Yes, I am. I'm just kidding. I'm not. He says, tonight on TV bloopers and practical jokes, Blake falls for a whopper. Seriously, this episode is a showcase for Blake's atrocious decision making.
It really is.
But that's what fanatics do, though, man. Yep. They don't care about anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they do screw up. I mean, so I agree with you, absolutely, Max. It is atrocious, but it's calculated too because he's still taking a risk with anybody's lives. And he's reckless, and so it's atrocious for anybody who hangs around with him. Yeah. Blake has been gathering information on an empty room. Any real leader should have pulled out at this first sign of trouble. Agreed. Blake ignores 2 or 3 signs of trouble. True. He does. I think that's kind of what Terry's saying here. He's saying that Blake is, unstable. That a lot of people who were revolutionaries, he's willing to put himself in danger too, but everybody around him better watch out. Blake fights his way to a wall in an underground room, reference to another great episode of Blake 7, but I won't give away which one it is. I know what you did. I see what you did there, Max. Great line, an Avon line. Sort of. Shake my head. The interplay between Serverland and Kasabi is organic, substantive, and beautiful. I love the lizard hanging on the Serverland's dress. Yeah, what the hell was that, man?
Yeah, what was that?
I love it.
Gecko?
She's the lizard queen.
Yes.
On my old VHS tapes and stuff in the old days, you couldn't really make out. Now TV's so much clearer and stuff. I really didn't know what the hell that was till I think relatively recently when I would watch it, I go, what in the blazes? as McCoy would say. What in the blazes? The climax is excellent. Blake immediately realizes his folly, luckily to be saved by Jedda's intrepidity. Good word. Gan was not so lucky. I will always hate this death. I don't blame
just
you.
Very quickly, I will not derail you, but Michael Beacom has to leave. Michael Beacom, Cassandra Beacom, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all of your support and your friendship, and thank you for your
Thank you, Michael Beacom.
Good night.
Night.
Please give Cassandra a wee little kiss on her cheek for me. Good night.
Member chat from Michael Beacom. Thank you for that, buddy. Thanks for a member for 19 months. All right. Really appreciate that.
Be seeing you.
Thank you. Be seeing you. So Max continues. This is the end of Sutherland and Travis. This is too large of a screw up, and she is going to throw him under the bus once and for all. Oh man, I love Sutherland's lizard dress. Yeah. Don't we all?
It's a showstopper.
He said a couple other things. He said, Blake now has blood on his hands, of course.
It's true.
We'll talk. I can't wait till next week, man. Oh boy. For me, this was peak Blake. The show never recovers from the loss of Gan. Fiona, I agree with half of that. It's peak because it's a top 10er, but I think the show has even better episodes ahead. So I guess I have 9 disagreements with that because I have 9 things better than it in my opinion, but I love the episode. And Gan, I love him, but I think I don't know. But I don't blame you for loving Gan. Oh, she's gone already. I forgot. Okay. They killed off again because the producers wanted to show the crew wasn't invincible. Yeah, that makes sense. They chose again. I mean, I think she means Gan. She said the autocorrect. Yeah, they killed off Gan. Yeah. They chose Gan again. They got Gan rather because at the time he was the least popular character. That's true, and Shane too, by the way. Shooter said it is not review, but he said, "Shooter, you didn't want to review it?" Oh well. And he said, "I think Villa would have allowed Avon would have followed Avon. While Avon thinks little of Villa, he would acknowledge his skills. And Avon at this point is less about the cause and more pursuing the good life." Indeed.
Good evening, Sean Carter from Mars.
Hey, Sean Carter. Sutherland shows signs that she could be redeemed. They are few and far between, but they're there. There is good in her. I felt it. Wow.
I really liked that our regular friends who are always here for Blake 7, they had a full conversation in the chat about whether or not whether everyone is redeemable. Like, should we consider everyone possibly redeemable? And Shooter was involved in that conversation. So I just want to thank everyone for that marvelous conversation that you had in there. Does pure evil exist? And should we try to rehabilitate that pure evil? And I think that particular comment that you just shared from Shooter Clubby, that was a part of that conversation. And that was a lovely conversation. Thank you for sharing it, everyone.
Yep, indeed.
Well said.
And I'll be Avon on this and say, no, don't trust anybody. Don't trust any evil person. If they've done the crap that she's done, no. Don't give them anything. No, man. Straight bait. No, man.
No, you mind?
Well, it's fun. Man, thank you both because I love reviewing Blake 7, as you may have learned. You may have guessed. I guess.
You kind of like the show?
I have some feelings for it. Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And it's good to talk about it.
Did you first watch the show when it came out, or what?
You know my pain there, don't you? I never tell you that.
I forget now. No, or I don't remember if you told me.
I've given a name to my pain, and it is Mark D with a C. Dude, man, it's painful to even tell you, but I will. Remember, I told you I watched it when it was in the like 80 around in the mid 80s. It started airing on a PBS or educational channel affiliate here. We had 2 of those types of channels at the time for some reason, and it aired. And I'd heard about we were seeing things about Hurt 130. Hello.
Ooby dooby. Pass the tequila. Please drink responsibly.
It aired, on that channel. I watched the first one the way back and thought it was boring, and I didn't want to watch it again. But my friends persevered and became big fans of it. They watched it, and I didn't. And I went a couple of years. Like every time they would talk about it, I say I don't care. And then they went to a con in 1986 or 7, somewhere up in there in New Orleans, where Paul Darrow and Michael Keating, not Michael Keaton, Michael Keating, Villa, and Avon were there with like 30 some. Only 30 people showed up at the con, like attendees, so they got to hang out with them the whole weekend. They were going nuts over it, telling me I said, "Oh, fine, leave me alone." They said, "You need to watch it." I said, "Go away, I don't want to watch it." But one of them, they forced me. They forced me, like some guy named Mark D wants to force me to watch
Stargirl.
They gave me all 52 episodes on videotape. But at the time, my then wife was pregnant, and after work, we just binge watched it on. We started watching it on the VHS as he recorded them all, and that was it. I fell in love with it, and to my utter disgust, the worst thing ever happened to me in life was not getting to go to that con with them because I'm a freaking idiot, and that's why. Yeah, it's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that part up again.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Damn
now
it,
you
Mark.
know. Now you know again.
No, I know again. Yeah, but I knew that. I thought you had started watching and didn't watch it, but I didn't.
So that was around like
86-ish
or 87. So then from that point, I copied them from him, and that was when I had the VHSs.
Yeah.
And eventually they put them on VHS for sale. I bought those, but even before that, I watched them over and over again. I watched them so many times. Huh?
Was it on PBS here, like Dr.
Yeah,
Who?
it ran on. And then this was a channel. It was one of those PBS type channels, but yes, it ran on PBS, just like Doctor Who did here. That's why it was in the States. In fact, again, because Doctor Who was so popular, this got popular, and they actually released every episode on VHS here. And I don't mean a PAL. They were on our VHS here,
our region.
Yeah, there was our region, which is weird since there's never going to be any DVD sets or Blu-rays. But back then, it was PAL. It was popular enough to actually I have every one of them. I have all 52 episodes, and they're 52 different. Right. Yeah, there were 52. They're all in single, and I still have them. So,
yeah, I don't remember this show back. I obviously watched Tom Baker on Doctor Who on BBC, on PBS. We had all the BBC.
Yeah,
maybe I did watch a few and just forgot it, but I mean, it is a very obscure show. So I was, and you kept saying you gotta watch it. So I'm glad
Starlog mentioned it. Now, you're gonna make me feel bad and make me have to go watch something. I owe you, I guess.
Yeah.
You've watched some stuff because I've watched stuff you told me to watch before.
Yeah, I know. We have. Yeah, we have.
Did I?
Yeah. So it's
I don't know.
You probably you have. Yeah.
Have I watched stuff you've told me to watch before? Number one, do I owe you any watching? Because I'll pay back. I mean,
I think just UFO.
Oh,
I suggested.
I wanted to watch it.
I suggested UFO to you, but I think you would have watched it without me. So
I've seen. Yeah, it seemed like a little of it, but yeah.
Thanks to Raquel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Tales of Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll watch anything either one of you tell me to, except for Stargirl. But I'm just kidding. I'll watch them. But I don't want to be the only one.
But that's why it's so fun to have, people suggest shows like this, or I could tell right away how much you love this show, and knowing that we have very similar tastes too. It's always good you have a friend that suggests something or says, give it a shot, try it out. But this is such an obscure show. I mean, I have the Liberators that I'm sending to you on the coffee table. Just got to put the damn stickers on it, and
stickers.
My son's friends were all back for spring break. They're like 10 or 12 kids, and I'm like $50 to anyone who can guess tell me what that ship is, without looking at your cell phone. There's no way. Yeah, they were all born in the 2000.
They couldn't find it on their cell phone. They wouldn't know what to call
Probably not. Yeah, I'm like, you can't Google it. It's like, no one.
I guess
no one knows
does Google have a thing where you can take a picture of it and because that's the only way they have a chance. Okay, they do.
Yeah, I do the image search. Yeah, I'm like, without reaching for your cell phone, does anyone know what this is? Like, is it Star Wars, Star Trek?
Kids, you could get people twice their age that wouldn't find it. I mean, you can get people our age that wouldn't know what it is.
No, yeah.
Which is at least that makes it safe from shitty remakes.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. At least it's that. The lack of, big time popular, because they've been threatened, by the way. Chibi threatened it. That
Yep.
piece of crap. But only threats so far. If you don't count that stupid Big Finish remake. Oh man, I got so mad at that. And they remade all they did, by the way, they made like the first episode and the second episode, and then no one cared after they didn't do it after that.
What would you feel? I know it's a rhetorical question, but what if they continued the story after the end of the series? Would you? Of course, now we don't have the. It's a shame the actors aren't with. You'd have to do it with new people, but what would your feeling be if they? You wouldn't want to see that either. Yeah,
because it would be obviously no one else can ever be Cara Avon. No one else could ever be Blake either, or Gad or Villain, and no one else could be those characters. I mean, it's not for same way no one can be Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and no one ever has, and no one ever will.
Yeah, I knew the answer to my question before.
By the way, it's an interesting question. But speaking of that, you know what? Other remake has been announced again? If they've already done one, there was a Prisoner remake announced again.
Again? After that last one flopped?
Please God, no. Please God, no.
I mean, they threaten that every few years. They threaten that every few years. They can go straight to hell.
I mean, the only good thing about that is maybe it'll flop, but then maybe people just go back and watch the original again, or maybe someone might not know what The Prisoner is and tell them go watch the original. Don't bother with the remake.
Well, the other remake was a flop piece of trash.
Yeah,
and and the only I was sad that Patrick McGoohan passed before that ever got made. But hey, Oliver Belamonte,
Oliver.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like no, we don't need a remake of this, and now this is a threat. Let's see, Prisoner remake. Watch this probably. Let me.
That can't be happening again. Why would you throw money after something you know is not going to be well received or?
I don't know, because it's not like it's that super popular, right? I mean,
no, it's not. I mean, it's another niche. I mean, it's much more well known than something like Blake 7, but and it's extremely highly regarded. But it's not if you asked, 10 people, do you know the TV show The Prisoner? Thinking about what you mean the show Jailbreak with the guy with the tattoos, or Here
we go. 2 days ago. Oh, Christopher Nolan.
Oh no.
Christopher Nolan's next film might be a remake of the 60s TV series The Prisoner. Oh my God. No, thank you.
Batman going to be actually in this one?
Oh man. Are you kidding me? Let's see here. Look at this poo-poo. No, thank you. Christopher Nolan. Ugh. It doesn't. Well, to be fair, it doesn't matter who it's going to be. It's crap either way. I mean, I don't care if it's. I mean, this. Remember, folks. First of all, it's garbage because there's only one Prisoner show. Movie doesn't mean anything. So, remember when we talk about this stuff, it really means nothing other than just it's annoying and it's insulting that they would try. Other than it doesn't mean it has any chance to be anything other than it's not a fly on. It's not a fly on. Or is it? It's not a
fly on the ointment.
It's not a pimple on the real show's ass. How about that? But remember, Christopher Nolan is the moron that hired Zack Snyder to do Man of Steel.
Oh, he hired him? Yeah.
Yes. And so if I were, for example, one of these weirdo fans, because there are weirdo fans, no offense, weirdo fans, of certain things that when they hear about a remake, they go, oh, wow, they're doing a remake of, I can't wait to see that. I want you. Wait a minute. I thought you were a fan. Why would you want to be remade? But whatever, right? So let's say, for sake of argument, I was one of those Nimrods. I would say, yeah, you really want to see a Prisoner remake, right? And guess who? Yeah, and it's Christopher Nolan. Okay. Well, he made Inception. That's just like The Prisoner. Shut up.
Shut up.
So no, go to anyway. So yeah, look, are you crazy? Christopher, this is again the guy is. I think he's extraordinarily overrated. A lot of people like this movie. I thought Memento was all right. I didn't watch it. I didn't like it. And what I saw of Inception, but I didn't really care much for it either way. Batman Begins just sort of all right. Dark Knight to me is good but overrated. The Dark Knight Returns is a piece of garbage, and that's about it. Because this is the guy that is hired Zack Snyder for the DCU crap. See, they tried to get him to do Superman, and he didn't.
Oh, he wouldn't do Superman?
He didn't want to He said, nah, but he was they've been the producer. And so he hired Hack Snide.
Now, and anyone who just, well, you mentioned the interview they just did about Batman. And that's how you instantly that he was wrong for the movie. He said, "Oh, I think he was on with Rogan, right?" And he said, "Well, they told me that Batman, one of the rules of Batman is he can't kill anyone. And you know what that makes me want to do as soon as I get control of the character." And he's got the look. I want to have Batman kill someone. Oh, that'll be great. That'll be cool.
And he did it. And he's an idiot. But Snyder. It's funny though. Nolan on the set of Man of Steel, the scene where he, when Super Mopey Man murders Zod.
Yeah,
Nolan was against it. Even Nolan in his Batman movies, Batman doesn't kill. He goes out of his way not to kill. And he said, no, Superman doesn't kill. And they talked him into it. Snyder and Dan Diddy, Doc Turco, and just I don't know who else.
Idiots. Yeah.
Idiots. So, but yeah, it's the birthday of the late Peter Paul Fix, aka Dr. Mark Piper. The episode, yeah, one of them has gone before. Paul Fix, yeah. That's one of number one's favorite doctors, right? Yeah. Dr. Piper, Mark Piper.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, we know number one's excited about this remake.
You can't wait, right?
I think it's absolutely insane.
Yeah. This ridiculous.
I mean, Patrick McGowan is somebody who's like Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah. It's all been said and done.
Yeah, and not only that, it wouldn't be the same because it would be corporate. And I don't care if they're just assigning one person's name to it. I don't know who Nolan is. I'm a nerd. So my area of expertise is academia, not films and pop culture. So I don't know who frickin' Nolan is.
He's a very well-regarded director.
He made Oppenheimer, and that's very
good for
popular.
him. I'm so happy for him. But the thing is that I think that it would be absolutely ludicrous. It would be absolutely horrible. All the words I want to use that will mess up the algorithm and mess up our show so that no one can watch it. I want to use them right now.
Like George Carlin.
Well, the thing is that it would lose its poetic quality. Like everyone knows The Prisoner feels like something Samuel Taylor Coleridge dreamed up when he was high on laudanum. It has a poetic quality to it where you're trying to figure out what exactly is happening in it, and the semiotics send all these different signals, and then there's actual dialogue, and it was a labor of love for Patrick McGowan, a fine Irishman, and it's been done, and it belongs to him. And the thing is like, everyone always busts my chops when I say that it's a remake or it's a reboot or it's a, whatever. I hate all of those words because we know what comes out the end of it. What comes out of the end of these extrusions that they create, it's always an interpretation. Yeah. It's always garbage.
Good night, Chris Berger, by the way.
I love you, Chris. Good night, honey.
Buddy.
Take care, Chris. Thank you.
It's just we know that we know that it's going to be Nolan's quote unquote interpretation, and then everyone will get their rocks off on YouTube talking about it. But what it's really done is destroyed the legacy of the original show. And no one, even though everyone's making a crap ton of money talking about all this crap, is that no one is pushing for people to make something new. Just make something. I'm going to drop the F-bomb, new. Just make something new. There are so many people out there who are hungry to give people new stories to fall in love with. We didn't just stop creating things and we're just going to keep on recycling now, right? Many years ago, I compared this to chewing your cud, regurgitating, and it is just totally out of control. Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian and the Hail Mary Project, could not get his book published. He had to go on Patreon. What does this tell you about these corporations? We have new stories. We have new storytellers. We're just, as the public just isn't pushing the corporation to go out and find those new storytellers. I want new stories. I don't want to rewatch things, regurgitate things. I don't want some interpretation or rendition. Just stop.
Grogu from El Hometown.
Grogu!
Yeah, they just need to cut it out. Again, this is, for example, another one, because this is just rumor stage right now. It's crap, but a movie I'm not as big a fan of as a lot of people are, but I like enough and I respect a lot is The Crow. And they just released a trailer today for the Crow remake. Again, another remake. And this is, whether you're into a movie or not, sometimes you just at least respect that there's a lot of people that really do love it. And it's very, I mean, it was one of the most, it's one of, of course, this has a lot of tragedy around it because of what happened with Brandon Lee on the set. I'm sure, I don't know if you're familiar with that, number one.
I am because I grew up around a bunch of men who really, really loved.
Yes, it's a beloved movie.
Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee's family, and
yeah. So it's a very popular, very beloved. It's a good movie. I just haven't seen it in a long time. However, it's very. I respect it a lot. There was some TV show, short-lived show. There were some crappy sequels that nobody likes. But the movie has been, this is like 30 years ago now. It's in the 30th anniversary.
God, yeah.
And these jack-offs, I watched the trailer. We talked about it earlier on Midnight Sits at the Dark on Tom channel. You see this trailer, and if you've seen the other movie at all, it has great style to it. It's amazingly well made. It's distinctive. It has a character to it. It has a style to it. It's not forgettable, even if it's not your bag. It's a very unforgettable film. It's good. And it's good, and of course you got that. It does carry that I don't know what stigma is the right word, but it carries that sadness with it about the tragic death on the set of Brandon Lee.
Yeah, but a lot of people believe that well, if you know about Bruce Lee, a lot of people believe that it's a curse, and that the curse is carried through the generations of Bruce Lee's family because of what Bruce Lee shared with the Western world. So it's actually the word that they use is curse. They believe that he is cursed because he shared sacred things with the Western world that he wasn't supposed to share. So there are a lot of people, like the people who I grew up around, who think this as blasphemy, and that's not an exaggeration for them. They just feel like this is way out of bounds. This is it's right out to lunch, and given the fact that people think that this whole idea is cursed and that the family is cursed and that they're going to remake it, I think it's just crazy, just crazy.
Hey, Putin's cat, what's up, dude?
Putin's dog. Good evening.
Putin's dog. Putin's rat or
Brogu.
Grogu. So here's the thing about again. What was it? It was
remake.
But this movie's again. We watched this trailer, and it's like almost all 99.9% of all of these remakes. You look at that trailer and you go, 3 people are going to see this thing, and 2 years from now, if it even releases, no one's like, or 10 years down the road, people will still be talking about the original from 1994, and it'll become like a footnote. People who are like into movie trivia or just love movies goes, did you know they actually remade that once? And a lot of people go, really? What? It's sort of like if they were, I was talking about this last night with someone, I forget who it was now, but they remade. I was talking about it with you, Mark. I'm not sure. Like they remade
Roadhouse.
They made that of course, but they remade It's a Wonderful Life as a TV movie with Marlo Thomas. Does anyone remember that from the early 70s? Of course not. And if you tell them, you're like, are you sure? Yeah, they did. Why? RoboCop, of all things, a remake. There's a remake. No. And anytime anyone defends the remake of RoboCop, well, was okay. Yeah, good. Which no one, they goes, and you ask them, how many times did you see it? Well, I saw it at the theater. How many times did you see the original? Oh, man, 10, 20 times. Exactly. Thank you.
Oh, there's a sequel to Roadhouse that probably no one knows about either.
Oh, get out of here. Gross.
It's out.
What about Total Recall?
No, but there's actual
I know,
Roadhouse 2. Yeah.
Oh, Roadhouse 2.
That's ridiculous.
There's a Roadhouse 2, yeah.
But this is what I'm saying, right? Like now it's like now that they have this interest in creating an attention economy online, and they're aware of this, especially people like, the gentleman who owns Amazon. He's well aware of how he creates money for himself. And what we're doing right now and what other YouTubers are doing right now in discussing all of this is what's generating a boatload of money for this guy. And I think that they're savvy to that. But I just think that it's up to the public to stop watching it and to stop talking about it, so they'll stop doing it.
Yep.
Because I've never seen anything like this. I mean, every generation always has that middle-aged moment where they're, get off my lawn. Things were better when I was young, and blah, 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 blah. And that's true. Every generation goes through that. But what's happening in cinema right now, it is unprecedented. We really have these people who are just remaking and rebooting the same stories over and over and over again. And what we're doing is we're killing arts and we're killing entertainment. And what we're doing is we're making art and entertainment that sucks so much that they're more interested in people sitting down shit talking it because of the immersive mechanism of the attention economy metrics and advertisements. And so it just blows my mind that there are people out there that that will defend these remakes, these reboots. Isn't it time that we all had a new story? It's time for us to have some new stories. And people like Andy Weir, people like me, we shouldn't have to go on Patreon and have people saying like, look over here. Like you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than having somebody read your stuff now, because they just want you watching the same shit over and over again. And the payoff for them is that they know that it resonates with people and the story is fit and full and done. And all they have to do is redo it. Okay. And then on the other side of it, if people don't like it, look at all the revenue. What is it supposed to be? 957 billion within the next decade. We're talking for the ad ecosystem, for the attention economy. So it's a win-win for these corporations. And people just keep supping the mush. They just keep, please, sir, can I have some more? No, stop watching it. Stop talking about it. Oh!
Yeah, that Crow remake or the trailer, I mean, it's just so damn violent. And yeah, you're right, Raquel. It's like, what are they doing? And, it's just all money grab. I mean, maybe the actors are great, or maybe they're going to try to add something to it, but do your own new thing with these actors, or, the special effects are better. Okay, yeah, so the special effects are better. Maybe the actors are allegedly, the performances. I don't think so, but like, in terms of effects and staging and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Things are better 30 years on, but do a new story. I mean, just don't, or somehow do a, maybe it's the Crow's son or something. If you're going to go that route, or do, at least you could maybe tie it in if you're going to keep going with the story.
But if the legacy is a curse from that show, then everyone who I grew up with in the 1970s, that's the decade I grew up in, all of them from that era, they were all sitting around saying, do we really want a non-lead doing this? And it just, you know what I mean? Like doing Roadhouse
that too,
after Patrick Swayze died from pancreatic cancer, I think is in bad form. It's bad form.
And the
I
original
don't
is
think making a
so
Bruce
good.
Lee movie or a Brandon Lee movie after a Brandon has passed away is good form. It's tasteless. People should be rejecting this. People should say that's wrong. Stop that. Don't do that.
Yeah, especially when the movie is brilliant too. I mean, you're remaking a brilliant movie. You know, it's ludicrous. I mean, I've a couple of times recently I've said, you know, they most people don't know Ben-Hur is a remake, but they remade a silent film. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna remake, my rule is, yeah, you can remake silent films, you know, things like that. All right, but you know, to do a movie like Roadhouse, when I saw this, is this a joke or an SNL skit? And you know, maybe it's going to be okay, but I don't want to see another remake of Roadhouse. Like you said, it's an insult to Patrick Swayze. I mean,
100% it is.
yeah, you could do maybe a knockoff or a similar idea, but God, calling it Roadhouse.
Don't go and find
Well, you know, you can,
one
you
of
know,
the
you
millions of amazing stories that are out there in the arts community, authors who are dying to have people read their stuff so that that what they have written can become celluloid. We are never going to have access to these fresh, exciting stories to make new legacies, to make new audiences, to thrill people, to spark their imagination, to fire up their brains again. If we just keep watching the same shit over and over again. I don't understand how people do it. I know that, you know, it's turned into an industry online and people are making lots of money off of it and talking about it, but I think it's you know, it's just so wrong. It's wrong on so many levels. I would actually fully ethically reject even the notion of somebody saying to me, would you please watch Roadhouse without Patrick Swayze? I don't have those kind of ethics. Not only do I not have the desire to watch that, but I don't have those ethics. That doesn't work for me. That's the wrong thing to do. And in doing it, you're slamming the door on other people who are going to tell you equally good stories, if not better. They're waiting to be discovered, but the corporations will not take the risk. They don't want to. They don't care. They just want pre-packaged pablum that we've supped before because they know we'll sup it again. And the public has to take charge of their own responsibility in this. Everyone's bitching, whining, and moaning and complaining about all these remakes and all of these reboots, but people keep going to watch it. I almost said the F word.
Do they though? I don't think they do. They're not never name one reboot that made anywhere close to the money of the original did if it's a classic.
True.
And I forgot that Ben-Hur was
really make any money with these things, to be honest.
Yeah.
True.
I forgot Ben-Hur was remade in 2019. Thank you to the chat.
I forgot. Yeah, that was about to say that.
I probably erased it from my memory.
In 2016. Now,
Why?
the
Oh my God.
The 1959 movie is a remake, but of a silent film, so it's a little bit different. Just like the 55 Ten Commandments is a remake of a silent film by the same director, by the way. So that's different. But it's just there you go right there. I forgot it that they made Ben-Hur in 2016. Again, case in point.
Shameful.
Name me one remake that made a lot of money. I'll wait.
Yeah.
Now,
The Fly, as people mentioned,
that was a good remake, but it wasn't exactly like it was different enough. It's almost not a remake. It's very, very little to do with the original. And John Carpenter's The Thing is very, very little to do with the movie that it's, you know, The Thing from Another World by Howard Hawks in the 50s, because John Carpenter's adaptation adapts the short story Who Goes There, and it's pretty different. So, but it's called The Thing, whereas the other one's called The Thing from Another World. It's almost not a remake. If you think about it. And it's a great movie.
Minimus.
But again, I want someone, if you do the research. This is an interesting topic to me. True Grit. Yeah. Again, I don't like that. I guess that was critically successful, but I'll take the John Wayne movie any day. I can't get into that new one.
But forwarding an exception doesn't create a new rule.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It actually enforces the rule, which means
but he did give one.
If you have to grope around for the exception, that shows you how powerful the rule is. And I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And give me 4. If you can give me 4 remakes that made any money, like for example, you just mentioned Total Recall.
Flop.
And don't reach back to the 1980s where we had truly exceptionally talented individuals who showed fidelity to the original source material. Get past all of that. That was an era where there was a variety of storytelling. There were lots of new storytellers coming forward. There were lots of book adaptations. Claudy's talking now. Now. Are you prepared to watch Ben-Hur, the remake, the 7th time? And we're really getting to that nauseating level where we've watched the same shit over and over again. And yeah, I agree with Clobby. I think that if you look at modernity and you're looking at our epoch that we're in right now, I agree with him. I don't think they are experiencing tremendous success. I think that they're weirded out and they don't really know what to do. And it's sad. I think that there's way too much happening with this idea of content.
Hey, Lasher. Yeah.
And content creation and how to monetize content and how to extract as much profit from content as possible. I mean, when I look at Disney, I'm a communications and technology scholar. I'm not a film buff. But when I look at Disney, right now, what I see is a company that is acquiring assets. It's acquiring content, and it's trying to heavily monetize that content to the maximum degree. I do not see Walt Disney anymore. Where is Walt Disney? Walt Disney was somebody who wanted to create stories for people. Look at Snow White. Here he sees this story that's older than time. And it's a story that predates even writing. So this is a story that's a part of our orality. And he made something beautiful out of it. And I'm not seeing that from Walt Disney anymore. And so even naming a successful film that's been remade and remade and remade and remade doesn't address this massive cultural shift and the responsibility of the public to recognize that Walt Disney doesn't exist anymore. We have Disney, the content farm. And that's really scary.
Okay, I want to go. And here's what I want. Okay. King Kong was remade twice. Now, I don't think the 76 Dino movie did all that great. Did the 2005 Peter Jackson movie do well? I guess it did. Putin's Cat, I guess. I didn't like it, but I didn't like either one of those.
I like the 70s remake. I do like that.
I didn't like that one. I hated that one more than I hate both of those.
They both suck.
Willis O'Brien, 1931. I mean, 33 is fine for me. It's mine.
Well, it's groundbreaking film.
That's the only deal. But anyway, okay, but I'm gonna cut some slack to somebody remaking a movie from the 30s. For example, someone mentions A Star Is Born, a remake of an old movie.
And remade 3 times, actually.
Right. Again, they had to go way, way back. So again, it's 50 some odd years later, but fair enough. Scarface is mentioned. All right, Larry. All right, first of all, Starborn, The Mummy. I mean, if you're talking about that Brandon Fraser mummy, that's nothing to do with the original Boris Karloff mummy at all. It's nothing like it. So I don't think that counts. But fair enough, Scarface counts. Again, a remake of a movie from the 30s or 20s or whatever it is. And it did well.
But all of these things are being presented without evidence. I want the receipts.
No,
how much money did these movies take to make, and how much money did they make? Were they received, well critically?
Okay. For example, the King Kong for 76 was not received well critically. Mark liked it. 2005 was sort of.
It made budget 24, made 90 million.
Okay. But see, I have a larger point to make before you. If you want to go into numbers, you could do your spreadsheet in a minute. But my point is, all right, because I asked for people to produce some examples, and I'm glad they did. I want to speak to that. Star is Born, that newer one. I guess people like that sort of thing. They liked it and did okay. Critically, it did okay. I don't know how much money it made, and don't tell me yet, please. All right. So the Mummy that Larry mentions did very well. It has nothing to do with the Boris Karloff film. I mean, it's an adventure movie called The Mummy, in title only, just like John Carpenter's The Thing uses the term The Thing, and it's very little to do with the Howard Hawks movie. So, on the other hand, look, I liked the Invasion of the Body Snatchers in 78, and like the original in the 50s. That's one you could say is a remake. It was a decent movie. I don't know if it did all that great. Scarface, Granted, did very well, and it's a popular movie. Remade a movie from the 30s or whatever. 310 to Yuma remade a movie from the 50s, and it is a pretty good movie. And it was it critically, I don't know if I think it was successful and it was critically well. Not like a again, but it was again. One point is it was a remake of a movie that was not like one of the biggest, greatest classics ever made either. It was just an old movie with Glenn Ford that was a good movie. They remade it with some big knackers of the time and did okay. The Wizard of Oz was a remake of a silent film, right? Again, quite different.
Yep.
Sort of. True Grit did well critically, but it doesn't even sniff the jockstrap of the John Wayne film in terms of popularity. But it did fair enough. For some reason, the Coen brothers did it, and that's part of it. Wagnar's right. The Lion King remake made a lot of money. So now, before we get on to the nuts and bolts of how much, if you guys want to go into the money and all that stuff, you can. My point now comes to this. You could, if you got a handful of them, measure that against how many remakes there have been, and then talk to me about how successful an idea it is to remake things. If you could do that, I mean, so if you're saying, "Oh, I got you," because I'm naming some remakes that did okay, name me one that is more popular than the original. You can name a couple, and a couple that did okay. Name me one that supplants the original. If it now, again, qualification being the original is a classic that was like, big pop culture film, like a RoboCop, like a Wizard, or like a RoboCop, or like a whatever, like Total Recall was a huge film at the time. So name me one that supplants, that you could say is honestly better than the original. And again, how many of those are there? So I'm saying, is it really worth it to keep remaking all these movies when a gigantic percentage of the time they don't do squat and they're forgotten?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go ahead, number one. Now you can take it anywhere you want to go, but I wanted to get that out there.
No, I'm not going anywhere without you, because I totally.
No, I'm here with you. I'm just saying.
I totally agree with you. And I'm frustrated by it, because I think that on the internet, folks feel like they have to provide trivia. And so if you say, the sky is blue, then they want to tell you that it's actually this color of blue. And so I think that it's very trivia driven. It's like if you throw down the gauntlet and you say, okay, go and find me a movie that's been remade 3 times, that's been successful all 3 times. I think that just gets away from the point that, like I said, our relationships with these movie makers have fundamentally changed. And I think that it gets lost in the realization that some of the biggest movie makers, the people who were supporting incredibly talented and gifted people and wonderful storytellers, are now content farms that are primarily interested in recycling products because they own the licenses for it. And so when they're churning it out again and again and again, it seems like a great idea to them. And so I think that that's breaking the agreement that the audience has with creators, with artists, with storytellers. We need something new. We need something fresh. And I think that it's a mistake to get caught up in the trivia and say, okay, name me a blah, blah with a blah, blah. I think that takes away from the very scary reality that Walt Disney doesn't exist anymore. There are people talking in the media, family members, who say they're actually ashamed of Walt Disney and his legacy. And now what we have is Disney, the corporation, that is a content farm, and they're not primarily engaged with telling fresh, new, beautiful stories. And so, yeah, I think it's super scary, because we're doing exactly what these people want us to do. The guy who owns Amazon is laughing all the way to the bank as we sit here and argue about whether or not something is good, when meanwhile they have found so many different ways to extract money out of these remakes that we can't even fathom it. including this mechanism that we're doing right now. This is turning into I believe it's a $957 billion industry within the next, I believe it's 10 years. So, we're going to get to a point where we reach critical mass. We're going to get to a point where corporations are going to have the market so saturated in these remakes that we won't hear any new stories. There won't be even an Oppenheimer. What we're going to have is just this constant regurgitation, and it's killing art, and it's killing the audience. In the 1980s, I think the year was 1984. I believe I have watched every single movie from 1984. Do I care about, the trivia on YouTube about whether or not somebody can identify a movie that had 3 remakes that did well? No. What I find remarkable here is that there have been remakes that most people haven't even heard of, and people are saying it did pretty well. That's insane to me, because storytelling used to be an event. It used to be something passionate and beautiful that we could all get involved in, that we were all excited about. And no one's excited about this anymore. What they're mostly excited about is bitching about it. And that's really sad. They've slammed the door in the faces of everyone who creates new things so that they can bitch about how shitty other people are remaking the old things. And the corporations who are in charge of this ecosystem and that ecosystem are laughing all the way to the bank. We lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ezra Goldstein. I don't. The Postman on His Rings Twice was a classic old movie that new remake didn't do squat. And it had Jack Nicholson, didn't it? It still didn't. Nobody's. Why even know about it is amazing, actually. But go ahead, Mark. I gotta go take a medicine.
Yep,
I'll be right back.
Yep. But yeah, like certain movies, I think I'm not 100% against remakes, but I do want to see a lot of new ideas. But yeah, there are some good examples of things that did work, and part of it is because they added something new, or put a new twist on the story, or there's such a huge time gap, like a Ben-Hur, or classic movie that was originally a silent film. I think 10 Commandments was a remake. So certain films like that. Someone mentioned A Star Is Born. That's actually been remade 4 times, and something like that that's a musical. And there's the first one was a drama that came out in 1937, was nominated for an Academy Award, very well loved. And then of course then you had the 1954 version with Judy Garland, and turned into a musical, and added the musical score to it. So it's a remake, but it's a musical, and that was a phenomenal success. And then you had the Barbra Streisand version in 1976. It's almost like that's a vehicle, a musical too. It's a vehicle for who's popular at the time, and that was a massive hit. And then you've got the 2018 Lady Gaga Bradley Cooper version, which made almost $500 million, which is a huge success, and it's showcasing, different actors and actresses in that movie. So yeah, there's, it's putting a new slight twist on that story. And Lady Gaga, everyone loved, most people loved her performance and the singing in the movie, and they change it up, a little bit. But certain things like a musical like that, or like King Kong, I saw that as a kid. I'm like an 8-year-old kid seeing that King Kong movie in the 70s, and it just really makes an impact on you too. So I had seen, the King Kong movie original, of course, on TV, but never got a chance to see it in the movie theater. You see something, in the movie theater, it just it's a different experience. And when you're younger, and then you kind of have you kind of really cherish a movie, or have a nostalgic factor towards a movie too, where maybe there's some flaws to it, or you kind of overlook it.
Yeah, but genre matters, right? When you're talking about a musical, you're talking about people wanting to hear the songs and celebrating the songs. So these become timeless stories that we tell over and over and over again. I love you, Zathras. Crap.
Zathras, what's up, dude?
And even Minimus bringing up Fat Man and Little Boy. I mean, I think that is quite different. And it's not quite what we're even talking about. And the reason
the Dwight Schultz, Paul Newman version.
it's very important for us to realize that there are historical dramas that need to remain in the public sphere. These are stories we need to tell and continue to tell, and I think that that's very important. So when you're looking at docudramas, when you're looking at musicals, you're not really getting to the heart of what we're talking about, which is the death of pretend, the death of fresh, exciting, new fictional stories. So if you throw them all into the pot, they all don't fit. And I think it oversimplifies what's happening, and what's happening I think is very scary. And I just want to thank Zathras, Minimus, and Lasher. But I don't mean to admonish you. That's not what I'm trying to.
No, I hear what you said. Yeah, but that's what I was trying to make that. You made the point better than I was. Like a musical is, something that, or they turned it into a musical, but like a musical or remaking certain things like that. It's, with the current stars, and it's a lighthearted. Well, A Star Is Born is not lighthearted. I shouldn't say that, but there's a different. It's a different genre, and when you're just copying something, and that Crow trailer did not make me in any way, shape, or form want to see The Crow. Maybe it's me, get off my lawn. All these.
It might have made you want to watch the old one again.
Yeah, might have watched the old one. Too many damn tattoos.
Didn't Brandon die on set?
Yes, he did tragically. Or he was shot. I don't know if he died.
Yes, he died. He was killed on set.
Yeah. So like I grew up basically with a bunch of fellas who worshipped Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was like a god to the fellas I grew up around. And so I was exposed to a great deal of kung fu, and I just think it's wrong. I just think it's wrong. I especially
it's a money grab. It is a money grab,
and these are legacies that I don't think people should mess with. I think it's really wrong. It'd be like remaking Ghost. And oh my gosh, like Patrick Swayze, like does Hollywood have no shame?
Didn't they already do that?
I don't know.
Did they remake Ghost? They might have remade.
I don't know.
That's the problem. Now you wouldn't even.
I forgot that they did it to Ben-Hur, so I'm just.
Yeah, like The Shining. The Shining was remade as a miniseries because Stephen King hated the movie, which everyone loved the damn movie. As I was mentioning, the Postman only lives twice, and of course that was Lana Turner in the original, and of course they remade it with Jack Nicholson, Garfield. So that's a classic. So I mean, it's like there's no rule, but that you can't remake a movie, but 90% of the time it comes out as crap, and and today it's especially a money grab too. When someone loves something like that, it's a 40s movie, and then they're gonna it's gonna be remade. The people, you would hope they'd go after it and say, what can we bring to it, or what new things can we add to this, or out of the story but tell it very well. But that's, of course, it's a novel, so things like that are books.
Imagine if somebody tried to redo One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And so here you have this book, and then you have one of the greatest movies, one of the greatest cinema experiences of all time. Today, what we watch is shit. I would call them movies. They're not cinema and they're not film. But imagine the weight of what it took to take that book and turn it into that beautiful film. Imagine if someone just came along and said, hey, let's redo One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It'll be great.
Yeah, you just don't want to see it. Well, Streetcar Named Desire, but of course it's a play too. But that's been remade a bunch of times.
Plays, I don't think plays count.
Right?
But it's been
made into movies. But
and genre matters here. Like I said, what we're doing right now is we're contributing to the death of pretend. We're contributing to the death of fresh fictional stories, and I think society needs them. But there are things, Zath was talking about Police Academy. As an author, and I would love to see a Police Academy musical. I think it would be hysterical. And I would love to see new characters added, and I would love to have some fresh, fun things happen there. But do I want to watch Police Academy, quote unquote, very large air quotes here, made for modern audiences, following the new
Hell no.
yeah, the new guidelines, this DEI and all these things that would destroy Police Academy. So no, I don't want to see it remade in that way. And that's the thing. That's what I don't like about these remakes, is no one is talking about the fact that these are not remakes. They don't have any fidelity. What they are is their reformation. What they're doing is they come in and they say, look, these are all of the things that we find that are incorrect, that are intolerable, that are problematic in this particular story. We're going to turn it into an IP. It's not a story anymore. Now it's an IP. And what we're going to do is we're going to add these corporate ESG scores. We're going to add the DEI, and we're going to create some reformation so that people can enjoy this without feeling guilty. I mean, holy shit. How did we get here? A head desk.
Money. It's all about, I mean, Hollywood's always been on making money, but now it's like the craftsmen and they're creating these movies just by the numbers and using these algorithms. And so when they made, Madam Web was such a horrendous failure, and then the lead actress, actually she came across pretty well. I think someone today said, well, for someone who's in a flop, Sydney Sweeney and Dakota Johnson have been pretty well regarded after, what she said. And Dakota basically said, there's just people interfering with the movie and how it's being made. And you want to have the vision of that director taking risks and putting their spin on the story and coming up with something original. When you do something paint by the numbers and you have by a committee, it doesn't work to design something or create something or invent something. You didn't have Da Vinci or Michelangelo didn't have a crew of people behind him. Which way do you think I should do this? Should I do this, or should I go this way? Or how do you think I should draw the Last Supper? Let me go talk to everyone and see what they think. Let me take a internet poll and see what. Should I have people on both sides of the table? Why should I put them all on one side of the table?
It's also about funding, though, because when we sit down and we say to ourselves, okay, we're gonna make some reformation. Let's do a modern interpretation of Police Academy. One of the first things that's going to happen is the people who are funding it are going to say, okay, so our value-minded investors and our asset managers and our financial managers, when we're trying to cull some investors, we need to know what the environmental, social, and governance issues are in this film and how they can be portrayed in a way that admonishes, this particular climate issue or this particular social issue. And so it's all coming out as this sort of reformation, this idea that history starts here, and history doesn't start here. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Ezra, sorry to make you wait, but I can't just jump in when something's being said, but I'll answer you this time. I know you put this up there twice, and I did. And you must not have heard me when I addressed this earlier, but I talked about Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I didn't watch that later when I did. I liked the 78 one, and I liked the original. The original from the 50s with Kevin McCarthy, and I guess, like I said, sometimes there are, I don't know what to tell you, but even I always preface my remarks when I'm talking about this, is there are sometimes exceptions. In this case, not many, because I despise the whole remake concept in a sense, and I'm one of the people that hates it more than anybody I know. Let me tell you my problem with the remake mentality. As someone who hasn't made anything, I guess I got to put that out there, right? Let's take Peter Jackson, for example. I'll use him because this guy, of course, is a marvelous filmmaker. I love his Lord of the Rings films and stuff like that. He did a marvelous. Again, fans of the books have some issues with some things he left out, but even the fans of the books do like his movies. after he made those films, he came out and said, "This is by the way, this is a string of words that I don't understand that have in between, in the middle, after the middle there's a contradiction. In other words, I'm a big fan of the original King Kong. I love it, and right there I agree with him. Then apparently he said, I'm going to remake it. They don't. Those two sets of words don't follow. They don't belong on the same page of anything for me. Because if you are, in fact, in my opinion, this is an opinion, a big fan of a movie, the last thing you want to do is remake it. You don't want anyone else to remake it either. Now, again, I know there are people that don't agree. Clearly, Peter Jackson doesn't agree. He saw what Dino did to it in 1976, made a 8-hour bore fest with a 20-foot tall robot. And most of the time it was Rick Baker in a gorilla suit, by the way.
Yeah, the robot didn't work, yeah.
Robot didn't work for shit. And that movie was a piece of garbage, in my opinion. I sat at the theater, but anyway, but people liked it, fine, whatever, man. But all that did was show how much better the original is, in my opinion. It's an opinion. So I would have thought that he might want to say, you know, I love that movie so much, and the other things that Willis O'Brien did it, and then Willis O'Brien in turn inspired Ray Harryhausen. I want him to do a movie like that. I want to know it's inspired by it, but do something different, right? No, he just wanted to do a remake. And in my opinion, his 2005 movie, there's some great effects in it, some great dinosaur fights and all that shit. But it's the same basic story, and it's a colossal bore fest because Willis O'Brien had the good sense to make the original film relatively short, based on a book. But Peter Jackson made it 4 hours. And maybe it wasn't 4, it felt like freaking 4 hours.
Long. It was too long. When
So
Kong is figure skating, it's too long.
Oh, God, it was figure skating. I don't get how you love a movie on the one hand, and he's one of the, he could do it after those Lord of the Rings films. He had the power to do any movie he wanted, and does this. He remakes King Kong, and so I don't understand that why you want to remake something that you love. I don't get it, and I never will. But there you go. And I also don't. And another thing I don't understand is if you're somebody who's a big name like him, it's one thing for people who are hungry, just breaking into the business, and they get a break, and they're given the latest remake du jour or whatever. But if you're Peter Jackson or somebody like that, and you're a guy who's established yourself, and you can do whatever you want, you're walking around on the set, and you're making this movie, and you're going, yeah, I didn't write this. I'm remaking it. That's artistic. Well, that's art for you, right? I'm redoing somebody else's stuff. Somebody else's work. This is not mine. Oh, I'll put my own spin on it and stuff and add all kind of cool stuff. So I don't get it. I'll never get it. And maybe I'm not, there's the line from the great movie that was relative, pretty original in a lot of ways, Big Trouble in Little China. You were not put on this earth to get it, Mr. Button. No, I wasn't put on this earth to get it, because I don't get the remake. I don't get why anyone has to redo every goddamn thing that's under the sun. So that's just me.
Hey, Lasher, would you do me a favor? Would you please buy my book and read it and tell me what you think? Since you believe that there are no new stories to tell, I would love it if you would please do me the honor of reading my book, and I hope that you will enjoy it, because I've really made an effort to write stories for people who love science fiction, who just want some new stories.
Peter Jackson selling what are the digital VHX for? So yeah, wow. What? No, I still don't get it. No, I don't get it now, Putin's rat, and I never will, because I'm not talking about the money. He's got all the money he's got. He could have made money doing anything. You're telling me that justifies remaking King Kong when he said he was a fan of it?
Well, he wanted to put his spin on it with the CGI and the new effects, and it did make a ton of money. I didn't like the movie. I mean, the effects are great.
Yeah, Larry, it was original screenplays. Please forgive me for transgressing. I forgot.
But it made it was 200 million, made 550, 100 million in DVD sales. So it was a big hit. Got nominated for a bunch of effects, but it doesn't have the same heart as the original King Kong does. And I do love that 76 movie. I think you were away when I talked about seeing that as a young kid in the movie theater. It just grabbed me seeing that, that, and I never got the chance to see, the original Kong in the movie theater. But yeah, I mean, there's always exceptions to every rule, but you can tell too when someone's doing a remake, what's the point of it? Is there a point to this? Like Joe Cocker redoing the Beatles, Get By With a Little Help From My Friends. It's almost a new song, So, it's like The Fly. It took the original idea and spun it off on a whole new web. But when you just take something, when the
it's barely a remake. That movie's barely a remake. Barely.
When you do Psycho and say, I'm going to do it scene for scene, I'm going to do a reshoot, a remake of it, and have it release it as a movie. It's like, well, what's the point? Just watch the original then, damn it. So, we all, a lot of us love comic books here, and you've got Spider-Man or the FF or Batman. You're trying to come up and tell new stories, but you never want to see in a comic book, well, let's redo the Clone Saga and Spider-Man, but this time I'm going to make it better. So you just, but themes and storylines and villains do get rehashed, but yeah, you never want to see a remake. So you can tell most of these, the Crow remake is just that's just a money, it's a money grab, right? And someone has a bright idea, and we think we can do it almost as good, or add something new for a modern audience, or something they'll appreciate. And we've got CGI and amazing special effects now, so people are going to want to see it. But I'm never going to watch it on streaming for free. So, I mean, why would I bother? I'm going to watch. Maybe if the only good thing that come out of it is maybe people will go watch the original again, and
that's what Clobby said.
Enjoy the original, like Clobberin Time said. Yeah, that's about the only thing I could I can think of. But yeah, for the most part, the remakes, they're bereft of originality and anything innovative to them. So
yeah, and the thing is like, if you're dancing with the wrong woman and she isn't treating you right, and you've been there, done that, and you just keep dancing with her, what you need to recognize that not only are you dancing with the wrong person, but you are preventing the right woman from walking up to you and saying, hey, do you want to dance? And the public needs to connect this to their arts and entertainment. The longer you dance with the slug, the more you're preventing
the cute redhead who wants to dance with me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
There are good authors out there, and we can't get through. We can't. Even some of us who have gone to university and studied writing for many years. I have a literary scholar editing my book. I put the work in. I love my audience. I care about what I'm writing, and I'm writing just for them, not even for myself, but for them. But do you think that I can get in? No, I can't get in. Have you looked at trying to get published these days? They now say directly on their websites, we're not accepting any submissions, even if you have an agent, unless you are an activist. If you're an activist, we will publish your material. If you're not an activist, and I think you all know what I mean by an activist, then you have to be writing about activism. And what we're really looking for is activists writing about activism. And they're not just talking about nonfiction. They're talking about fiction as well. How can I get through and tell someone just a story about an idea? I can't get through. They won't let me through, Mark. They're not even slightly interested.
Well, that's why you got to go out on your own sometimes. But unfortunately, in the book world, it's different when you've got a great idea and you start a business. But at least there is self-publishing these days, and that's how Andy Weir got discovered. So you do have that route, but it ain't easy to start your own business or take that risk or go out on your own or get discovered, and it's a tough path. I mean, our family business, it was about 10 years before my dad said he took a salary, from his business.
Yeah,
so
but for some of us, it's not a business. For many of us, we're all sitting around saying, am I going to be like Edgar Allan Poe? Am I going to die completely unknown? Nobody ever read anything I ever wrote. And then you just die in this silence. Am I going to be
Yeah, well,
like
it's the same
H.P.
thing as
Lovecraft,
well,
dying
I
in
think
the
that's
silence, no one reading your stuff? Like, this happens often to authors, and that's back when we actually had a mechanism that accepted them. Now that the corporations are in charge, no one's getting published unless they're already a multimillionaire that everybody else is reading. It was the public that forced Andy Weir's book to be known and to be recognized. So many people went to his Patreon and they were like, this guy is awesome. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have The Martian. We wouldn't have the Hail Mary Project. We wouldn't even have that. So it's just so frustrating to me because, there's such a, people have devalued storytelling and storytellers to the degree now that they have, and the corporations are making it worse by saying we don't need any new storytellers. It's scary out there, Mark. It's scary.
Nav Shergill, welcome. Good to see you. And the time scales, hail.
Evening.
Greetings to you both.
Hail. Well, I do have a couple of things to show before it gets too late, whenever it's a good time.
Lasher was saying something to you, Raquel, real quick.
Oh, Raquel, not ignoring you. I will get your book as soon as I can. Right now, embarrassingly, I am paycheck to paycheck, and it's extremely tight. Lasher, I feel you. I feel you.
Same here.
And thank you, even for the sentiments, like just even the sentiments and even the conversation. If I could get it to you, if I could afford to get the book to you for free, I would. But it's pretty insane to even try and send things to people, right? Sending things to people in the United States costs $35-40, and my book is included in that, even if I just sent you the paperback. So I wish I could help you, and like I said, no pressure, and it's the sentiment that counts. But I just want you to know that there are people out there who are creating stories that you will love, but the corporations are not allowing those stories to get through.
All right, Mark, you want to get that stuff together?
Sure. Yeah, I have it. Yeah, I have it ready to go. Let me just change my.
Okay, I'll read Oliver's question for Raquel real quick while you're doing that. Raquel, as a fan of William Shatner, how do you rate his other TV appearances, such as the cop show T.J. Hooker, sci-fi series Tech War, and the courtroom's comedy drama series Boston Legal? Did you watch any of those or no?
First of all, I want to thank you for the question and for even taking the time to engage me in this way. I love our conversations, and I think you are a marvelous human being. I have spent most of my life with my nose in a book, and so I have not watched a great deal of TV. So I have not watched, I think I have watched a couple of episodes of T.J. Hooker. It's also really important to mention that I had an impecunious childhood, really like abject poverty. So there wasn't a lot of TV watching, and there was a lot of working. So first of all, no cable. And then when you're old enough, you go and get a job and you get things done. So I haven't really had a life where I've watched a lot of television. So I haven't had a chance to watch any of that stuff, the Boston Legal, or I haven't even heard of the other two things that you mentioned.
T.J. Hooker?
And that's why I hang around with geeks. No, I've heard of DJ Hooker, but he said something about a tech something.
Yeah, Tech War in the 90s. He and Garfield, Judith Reese Stevens, and Garfield and Judith Reese Stevens, the Trek writers, did a series called books called Tech War. And it was about a character. It was like a science fiction series of books, and then they made a series of it for a while. Well, anyway.
With Shatner is well, I guess I don't know if he had a ghostwriter with him, but it was a lot, his name is on those books.
No, yeah, that's right. It wasn't them. I'm sorry. They did the Kirk books with him. It was who was that guy? Tech War. Who wrote that with him? Was it Ron Goulart? Larry, or I can't remember who wrote that with him. It was somebody.
I have it on my shelf behind me. Do you want me to get it?
No. Tech War? Oh, you do have Tech War.
Yeah, I have the book. Yep. I didn't watch the TV show.
No, baby, but he did have somebody writing it with him.
Hold on. You do RRTNZ and I'll get the book.
RRTNZ says, as Romeo howled, "My kingdom for a horse," as he poisoned Brutus and lost the name of action to the sound and fury of the conscience of the king, I smiled. Wow, you're getting Shakespeare on us.
Boss, it doesn't say.
Yeah, Goulart. Yeah, that's right.
I did love Boston Legal. Oh God, he was great on there with
So
Shatner's just such a great
who
actor.
wrote this book with him?
Ron Goulart. He was pretty big at the thing. Sort of like not quite Alan Dean Foster, but he did a lot of adaptation stuff, if I remember right.
Yeah. So I have a copy of it, and it's like in mint condition because
and there was a series.
It's from the Thelma Fanning Memorial Library, and it was discarded, and a loved one purchased it for me. So I have basically like a brand spanking new copy of it. You should see the dust jacket. It's in immaculate condition. And so,
Greg Evigan was the TV series. Greg Evigan.
Yeah, Greg Evigan. Yeah, I don't know how long it lasted.
I don't think it lasted that long yet.
Yeah, Greg Evigan played him. That's right. I thought it was Goulart. Yeah, Garfield and Judith Reed Stevens. They helped him write the Kirk books, which I liked actually. J-Man was just asking me about those tonight.
I've never read these. I wonder if they're any good.
I don't know.
I try not to read when I'm writing, because if I read while I'm writing, it's not the same as it is when I'm watching television or when I'm watching a film. I take things in when I'm reading, and so I'm always frightened that my books will be influenced by things that I've read. So I do not read when I'm writing, and so I cannot wait to get back to reading. Gosh darn it.
Raquel says RR. I unironically love Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft. Any thoughts on them? I love them too, buddy, by the way.
It wasn't until this literary scholar read my book and I received feedback from him that my stories made him feel they felt Lovecraftian. That's when I sat up and took notice. H.P. Lovecraft would probably be something that would be too frightening for me to read. So I'm actually quite new to H.P. Lovecraft. I mostly know about classics due to my many years in university. And so just mostly classics. And by classics, I mean like actual classics. So like the Iliad and the Odyssey and then of course the classics in the literary design. So, like Bleak House and Jane Eyre and that kind of gothic horror and things like that. So I'm still learning.
Howard yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, it's okay, Clubby. Go ahead and interrupt me, folks. I'm still learning, and I'm still expanding my genres, and I hope I will for the rest of my life. It's something that really matters to me. So, and thank you for caring and even asking me a question.
Absolutely. By the way, Howard and well, I guess you probably know this. Howard and Lovecraft were pen pals, and they both self-deleted. But yes, and again, by the way, I've talked about it many times before, but if you're a Howard fan, you must seek out the movie from 1996, The Whole Wide World, if you haven't seen it already, with Vincent D'Onofrio playing Robert E. Howard. It's a wonderful film. Love it. And Lovecraft is mentioned a lot in it. So I'm sorry. Sorry, everyone. Okay.
No, you're awesome sauce, babe. Don't worry about it.
So what have we here?
Oh my God, it's Joan Winston's book.
Raquel is going to take over for me for enabling. So when you mention this book, or How to Throw a Party for 12,000 of Your Most Intimate Friends, cover is a little bit piece missing here. But
who cares? You should feel so happy to have that.
No, I can read the book. So fascinating, funny behind-the-scenes account of Star Trek conventions.
Good night, Tetrarch.
Take care, Tetrarch.
Good night.
32 pages of never-before-seen photos, underground cartoons, and daily programs and trivia contests.
You need to read that. Look at how thin that book is. You could probably do it in 3 hours, maybe 4.
You could, yeah.
You got to read that. You know how inspiring and fun that will be? This lady invented Star Trek conventions. She invented it.
Yeah, so thank you for this. And
makes me wish I could read. Wow.
Get out of here.
So this book is... let's see. To the fans, if a picture of one of your favorites is missing, it's because we either could not reach them in time, or proper arrangements could not be made. Copyright 1977. So I guess this is the first. Printing. Looks like. Good shape. Dedicated to many people I've probably forgotten somewhere. So please forgive me. To To the committee.
That's what I was telling you about the committee.
Yeah,
That's
see.
what they called themselves.
Committee, yeah, like the fellowship. They're the committee,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good night, Don.
Don Power Ranger.
Good night, buddy.
Let's see if I recognize any of these names. Let's see. To ABC. I don't know if I recognize any of those names. Maybe you guys do.
I don't really either.
I don't. Yeah. But they were helped get these conventions going. Yep. Last but not least, the great bird himself and his beautiful partner, Gene Roddenberry and Majel Barrett Roddenberry. Thank you all. Phew.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful
you know,
people.
I'll just flip through or show some of the pictures.
Why? You need to read that and then
well,
tell me about it. I can't
Oh yeah,
afford
but I'm just
that
want to
book.
show you a few pictures now. This picture, I don't know, is she green? I can't tell because it's a black and
Yes,
white
she's
picture.
green.
Oh my.
Oh my. Oh my.
Nice.
I wish I would have.
Jeff
been
Marnard,
present
whip in
for
hand,
these
ready to hold
parties.
all Guffle classes, and Ryan Slave Girl, played by Chris Lundy, lounges exactly atop his dealer's table in 1975.
Unbelievable. Kay Roberts, good evening. And I think it was
Hey.
Gwagnar who asked
Hey,
me.
Roberts.
Yes, Gwagnar, I did catch the hilarious House of Frightenstein and hysterical show.
Wagner, let me ask you something really quick because I'm so I don't forget. The other night I was talking to J-Man and somebody about Tomorrow's magazines and how he lives it up. I believe Gwag lives up near you, right?
Yeah, Gwag is very close to me.
Oh, so I'm saying he's in Canada. So
Yes, he's only a few hours away from me. If he were closer,
Right.
he'd be coming over for dinner.
no, what I mean is I was making sure he lives up there. So my question was, I know you order a lot of the. Do you order every issue or back issue and some of the other Tomorrow's mag? And if so, do you pay full? Because how do you get around the shipping being so high? I mean, you just grin and bear it and take it because he was trying to buy a bunch of books from Tomorrow's. They had a big sale, J-Man, and you know he's. I mean, it's not like he's a pauper or anything, but he's like he just couldn't handle the crazy shipping on some of that stuff.
It's too much money.
Right. So I was wondering if you have some way you do it special, Gwag, or you just go ahead and bite the bullet. For example, Back Issue Magazine, for example, the cover price right now is $10.95. To give you an example, right? It would cost more than 3 times that to buy it from there. I mean, to ship it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically a $10, $11 magazine, you end up shipping, you end up spending like almost $50 once you get through buying the magazine and shipping it.
I love that you fully understand this now because when I first started podcasting, there were people that were fibbing about it and trying to make it seem like it wasn't like this at all, and they were totally lying. And I love that you're bringing this to light.
You get some at the comic shop. That makes sense. So you don't have to pay shipping. Yeah. See, I ordered directly from the site. I didn't know what you were doing, Gwag, but I got you. Yeah, because he has no choice but to get them from the comic shop. Comic shops don't even carry it around here much.
Gwag also lives in a pretty cosmopolitan city. It's not the capital city, but he lives in a cosmopolitan city where a lot of people are flying in, a lot of people are flying out. The convention in his city is much bigger than it is in mine. He has more resources there.
Okay, yeah, so it gets at the comic shop. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I've been buying from them from their site since the 2007. And because, but I can understand why he has to do that. Go ahead, Mark.
This one is Connie Fadis in her pre-reformed Vulcan warrior queen outfit made of handwork copper, 1976 Con.
Yeah. You had a picture of Isaac Asimov when he had his chops. That was a great photo because that's when Isaac had the massive chops. I was a big fan of the chops.
Oh, look at Mirror here.
Mm-hmm.
1973. So, there we go. Now I can see it.
Gorge.
Some great cosplay. So women were always involved in Star Trek conventions and as fans of the show too. So and there's a picture.
You need to read that book.
Well, I just got it today. I mean,
I thought it was in your museum collection.
No, you enabled. That's why I said you enabled me. So I went on Amazonians and I've got it used.
That's
and
a very
I think it was
expensive
only
book.
$10 or something. Sorry
Yeah,
to say
because you're
that.
American. This is your
Yeah.
culture. Why do you think I'm always talking about how much I love America and how much I love your culture? I love your culture. Oh, if I
Yes.
lived down there, do you have any idea the amount of books I would have? Like right now, it's
Just go to our
already
thrift
bad.
shop. Just if you went to our
Oh,
thrift shop and saw the penny
right?
books, yeah, all the books that are there, yeah. So, hey, there's
Nice.
Bill. Yep. So there's some great pictures in this, and yeah, it looks like it's a pretty, there's easy read. Gene Roddenberry, David Gerald, Hal Clement, and Isaac Asimov.
Look
Wow.
at the chops.
Yep.
He's so
Yep.
cute. I love you, Isaac.
What a great panel that would have been to be a fly on the wall on
Mhm.
that one, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roddenberry, Gene, Shatner, Takei in 1975. Robert
Look at the
Lansing.
queen. The queen looks great. Look at how young she is.
And who would have thought how big it would? I mean, this is when the phenomenon is just starting. Now, this picture was on the interwebs before. I think that George Takei. Oh my! Surrounded by so many pieces
I've
of
seen
it.
that in color. I've seen that
Yeah.
photograph in color.
Must have been
So
a
the
fun night.
original, that original photograph is in color, and everyone is wearing like 1970s colors, and the worst of the 1970s colors. It's kind of like a mixture between baby food and baby diapers. It's a very colorful photo.
George, can you sign my Migo figure? So some cartoons making fun of the like inside jokes, I guess, about the convention.
When Star Trek
More
only had
cosplay.
one iteration. Love it.
Right?
I miss that.
Yeah, me too.
No offense, fans of the other ones, but I miss that.
Yeah. I agree, Clubby.
Original series forever.
And I've become and I'm getting more and more and more like that. Like that's a feeling that has been growing in me for a long time now. I never used to feel that way. And now it's like yeah.
You should stop binging all the other ones from now after we get through when we finally get through with all of our review of all the way through, and then just binge the original series, the animated and the original 4 movies from now on. Yeah, to hell with the other ones.
Look at him,
except for Enterprise. Except for Enterprise. Oh, there you go.
Clubby, I love his caterpillar eyebrows. He has the finest caterpillar eyebrows. I love him so much.
Oh, Howard Weinstein, I met him.
Oh yeah, he wrote some animated episodes and a book. Pirates of Orion.
William Worthies, the amazing costume designer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scotty.
Jimmy. He looks great. I love him so much. He's so cute.
Whoa, Cyrano Jones.
Yes.
Susan Oliver.
Yeah.
Yep. Very pretty
She's
lady.
gorgeous.
Yep.
Absolutely gorgeous. But look at the queen. Look at how young the queen is. Go to the right. There's the queen.
Oh my.
Yeah. And thank God the keepers were able to put her back together. She looks
so
good.
Cute. Look at Jean's face.
This is when he was making Quester tapes, I think.
Or
Planet Earth.
Cute.
RR says, Clobby, Howard was a genius. He was. Could create an entire world in only a few pages. I'll look for the D'Onofrio film I used to read, Conan before rugby games in high school to unleash my inner savage. If you get a chance to find the whole wide world, and it's cheap out there. The DVDs are cheap. You won't be sorry if you're a Howard. Even if you're not a Howard fan, you can know nothing about it. The movie's beautifully shot. It's brilliant. And if you're just interested in, biopics about authors, for example, can be really good sometimes. That one is astonishing. It talks all about not just how he created Conan. It covers that, of course. But it talks about all the other kind of writing he used to do. The kind of guy they called him Two Gun Bob. He was a man's man. He wrote before he started doing Conan. He wrote for boxing magazines, stories, pulps about boxing, and I mean like stories, not like and other types of adventures. He created Solomon Kane, Bran Mat Morn, Cole, and other ones. And man, when there's a scene where he's describing Conan to this female the woman in the Renee Zellweger plays Novelyn Price, who became later a professor over here at the college, back in the 30s and 40s. She wrote the book The Whole Wide World about him, and she wrote. He was very frank about her poetry, but when he would describe to her what Conan was, she would get freaked out. She would like scare the crap out of her, and it's some great scenes. D'Onofrio's brilliant in the film. Should have won something.
To answer everyone's questions in the chat, Larry is talking about who published this book, and it is Playboy Press. Playboy Press is responsible for bringing this book to the public.
The last Star Trek trivia contest? The last one?
Leftover questions that never made into the previous contest.
Okay. Who
noticed that Telosians had captured Pike? Boyce, Taylor, or Spock? Commissioner Hedford. Who noticed that Telosians had captured Captain Pike? Boyce, Tyler, or Spock?
Tyler.
Tyler, yep.
Right.
Hedford suffered from Sakharov's disease, syncosis nova, Rigelian fever.
Rigelian fever.
Or fever, yeah. Planet Deneva was originally colonized as Freight Line Base, Medical Research Center, Agrarian Commune. Was it a commune?
I think it was a medical center.
I can't remember that.
I think I thought it was agricultural.
Could be.
Yeah.
I thought it was agrarian, but it's way too many questions. All right, yeah.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So, like when you're looking at these things and you're looking at people's ridiculous poetry and the songs they wrote and the trivia that they did and all that, this is what it was actually like before. It was so enjoyable, and none of it is corporate. It's all coming from the fans in attendance. And so it's just, this book is so inspiring.
Ezra, the name of the movie is called The Whole Wide World from 1996. Vincent D'Onofrio, Renee Zellweger.
Gee, could you imagine that? Writing to them and include a SASE, self-addressed stamped envelope. If you want Star Trek directory to tell you what's going on, send $1.50 too, So it's all fan magazines.
She didn't do this on her own either, right? Like Gene sat up and took notice of what she was doing. And the minute that he approved of her and went to this first convention, that's when everybody else realized, oh no, like we need to do this. And these Star Trek conventions were so intimate. And I just love the costume call. Like, I want us to get back to the point where we have the costume call instead of the cosplay. I'm so sick of cosplay where people just put on costumes and take pictures of themselves and then use AI to make their pictures as perfect as possible. I want to get back to people coming together to have a mini Star Trek convention or a mini science fiction convention and just do it for the love of it. No corporations, no signings, no bullshit, just like fun again, like we do on Saturday Night Star Trek, but only in real life.
So if you've never been to a convention, you find one spot in your area, why don't you spend a day or so there? Find out what I've been talking about. Go and have a good time. Good night, Zaz.
Good night, Zaz. Thank you for everything tonight. You were so fun, and I love you.
Hey, by the way, Ezra, I put the link right there in the chat for the movie The Whole Wide World. IMDb. Go take a look at it. So good. And it's, by the way, it's free, streaming free on sorry, Mark. Pluto.
No, it's free. Okay, good. Yeah.
Tubi, Pluto, Sling, and Roku channel.
Nice, yep. So why don't you spend a day or two there? Find out what I've been talking about. Go and have a good time, and most of all, find a new friend. That's what fandom's all about: friendship, love, hope, and understanding. May you find them all as I did. Take care.
Good night, Philip.
Philip, we talked. Philip's phone dead. It's charging time. I'll finish up in the replay. Good night, all. It's been fun,
night,
Captain, Commander, and Chief. Thank you for all you do. Good night, Philip. Thank you so much for your company. Thank you for being here. Sleep sweet.
Yes, indeed.
And look at this. What I got. This is.
I'm
excited about this.
Look at this Gold Key comic I got.
Wow.
How cool that is.
Did you have this before?
Night, Max.
Nope.
Night, Maxie. I could have swore you've had this before.
You need to read this book. How have you not already read this book?
Yeah, you should have read this while you were on the stream just now.
Yeah.
I was doing the watch party, doing the slideshow at the same time.
I would have downed that book in 3 hours. Look at how skinny it is. You know how quickly you could read that.
Skinny like me? Yeah.
You need to read this book right now. Go ahead, we'll wait.
Yeah, go ahead, we'll wait. Yep.
No, read it to us. Read it to us.
Reading by Mark. Yeah. All right.
What's it called again? The Making of Star Trek or Making of Trek Conventions?
Yeah.
No,
Joan
you
Winston.
can get a paperback for much cheaper. But
yeah.
The great Joan Winston.
Yep.
This is not on ebook, so I didn't want to. I want to get the hardcover.
I bet Claude has it. Minimus, are you still there?
He's got to have it.
Well, that's officially a rare book. So if you have it, that's really good.
If he doesn't, I know who does. I have other friends that Tex might have it.
Oh, Tex, really?
Or my friend Scott. I have. There's no way I don't have a friend at least one friend that has this book.
All right, now I know you guys don't like Funkos, but when I saw this on sale the other day, I had to have it, and I can always take this Spock figure off and put another figure, but I don't mind the Funk, because he's very small and the cover just looks so damn good. So I could put, my Mego Spock there.
I hate Funko Pops, but let's face it, that's my hero there. That's my childhood hero there. So I don't care if they made him into a Funko Pop. And what's going on with the gold key? That's not an actual gold key. That's a remake, right?
Yeah, it's just
Are you going to take it out so I can look at it?
It's just a picture.
Yes.
Oh, it's just a picture.
So it's in a display case.
Oh.
Well done.
Damn it, Mark.
Oren Alturas, welcome.
Good evening, Oren.
Good evening. And you can hang. It looks like you can hang him on the wall, which is awesome too. I'm guessing that's a mechanism to hang on the wall. Oh, and Spock is attached.
Why don't you take a rope and hang me?
Oh, he's attached through his head there. Oh, I guess I can't. Well, if I did put a different figure, there's going to be a hole through the pain. There's a hole through there, so he doesn't. I assumed he would have attached him through the feet. But no, this with the gold key, it's gonna make a nice display.
No, he has a giant screw in his head. Pain.
They have a pop vinyl of the death scene, of Spock's death scene. Wow.
They do, yeah, they do. Yeah,
what?
I've seen that. I didn't buy it, but they do have
Lasher
it.
said Jessica has that one.
Yeah. So this is KG Planet of Death, and I wish I'd bought these gold keys back when they were cheap.
I think I still have Star Trek Lives, Larry. The paperback thing. Yeah. Well, I'm seeing a decent price on a later printing of this book. You got the original printing.
I got it like $10.
No,
$12.
it's a rare
That's
book.
A paperback,
and most people get the paperback because it is significantly cheaper. Most of the people who are selling the hardback, they're selling it as though the jacket is still intact, so they won't even show you a picture of it. So when you go on Abe's and you try and buy it, you don't even get a picture of it, and most of those people are grading on their own. So it could be like a small bookstore in a tiny town, and they're doing their own grading, right?
Yeah.
So that's the mystery in getting the hardback. So the hardback's difficult to get. At least the paperback is they'll give you a picture of it so you can look at the grading and say, okay, is this grading accurate or not, right? But
yeah. I got you.
Yeah, like this one had a good grade on it, but it didn't say that the cover was missing a piece off of it. But it's all right. I could actually scan the cover and reprint it on my,
No, just leave it the way it is. I bet you that book smells glorious.
No, but then put the cover away and protect it.
What happens when you through that book? Does it not smell glorious?
Oh, it smells glorious, yeah. Smells awesome.
Yeah, man. That's the only air freshener you need. You install wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves like I do.
Oh my God, the
Fill
smell.
them with amazing books that you've read, and your house will not require any air freshener.
I just got a book high.
I know, right? Oh, I'm so jelly.
And I'm
Ain't she
liking
a
this
beaut?
Spock pop.
Look at
I'm
this
liking
crap
it.
you're showing me tonight. Look at this enabling. This is maximum
You did it. You did it to
enabling
me.
tonight.
Well, I'm trying to get you to buy a Funko Pop.
Good stuff. It's good stuff. I hate Funko
You might
Pop.
actually like if that's like if you had to have one Funko Pop, that might
I
be
hate
it.
Funko Pops, but I do have Mirror Universe Funko Pop Spock. Say that 3 times. Funko Pop Spock. Yeah, I have the mirror universe of Funko Pop Spock. I would like the original, but it's out of my price range now. That's my favorite in the whole world.
But what happens when this Gorn attacks Spock?
He says, I hate Funko Pops. I shall destroy you.
You can't get him out of the force.
Get out of this thing. I shall kill you. You are a disgrace to Spock.
Well, he already has a screw in his head, so Spock already has a giant screw in his head. Yeah, I love that Gorn. That Gorn is the best Gorn. That Gorn would almost turn me into a geek. It's almost good enough where I would start collecting like geeks do. But nope, I can't do it. I'll ruin my home.
No, you could.
You're better off. No. You're better
I know. Right now, it's all contained in one room. Except for in the family room, like the entire basement the walls are covered in Star Trek, but nothing. Okay, so there are a couple of physical items down. Okay, let's just stop talking about my collection because I don't want to feel bad. But you guys, I am 40 minutes over time.
I tried to tell you, won't listen to me. I'm just kidding.
Join the dark side for Kill Geekdom is awesome. I love you, Shooter. You guys, I don't even have time to exit stage right. Exit stage right.
Well, exit stage left. Then
I miss. Does anyone here miss Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har? I miss Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har. Anyway, exit stage right. So I'm getting the heck out of here. I love you all. I'm sorry I can't stay to say goodbye, but Andrew has stopped playing pool. And
Andrew.
It's a school night, so I need to leave. I love you all. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here. I had so much. Yes, Snagglepuss. Do you remember the Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har show? That's where you had Huckleberry Hound and Snagglepuss and Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har.
Huckleberry Hound says good night, Aaron. Good night, Raquel.
Oh my God, that's actually pretty good. Are there any voices you can't do?
I don't know what you mean. I don't sound like Huckleberry Hound, do I?
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, I need to get out of here before I get into huge trouble. I'm 40 minutes over. Good night, everybody. See? Well, yours is so Okay, I need to leave.
Busted.
I can't say goodnight to everyone, but I will say this. Kat, I love you all so much. Thank you for being our friends, and thank you for hanging out with me. I feel so honored by these friendships and by this time that you spend with me. I have so much fun with all of you. Thank you for your company, for your insights, for your jokes, for your challenges, for your information, for everything. I love you all very much. Don't forget to follow Mark D with a C. And Clubby, I love you. Thank you for creating this space for us. I had a great time. Night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Good night, number one. Not too far behind you.
Yep.
There you go. Everybody, the great and wonderful first officer. We love you. So that's where did you get a Huckleberry Hound from?
I don't know where I got Huckleberry, but
hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Lisa, it's okay. You're never too late. We'd like to see. We're glad you're here. You don't know where you got that one? Did you put it in like one of those claw machines, maybe?
I don't know. Who was it? Warner Brothers store?
Oh, I remember those. Man, we used to love the Warner Brothers stores. It's been years since they had. That was like the 90s, dude. But I loved the Warner Brothers stores. Yeah, that's where you got it. There you go. Yeah, they still have any of those?
Once in a while.
Didn't they close them all down?
I think there's like one open, but it might be at the theme park,
Oh, yeah. They had one down here in New Orleans from back in the 90s. I got this. I've showed it before many times. This Batman statue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lawn, like a like one of those lawn ornament, like one of those lawn. What do you call them? Big old, I guess, like
a gigantic one.
Yeah, it's
like a lawn jockey,
like a lawn. What do you call this? Like a garden thing. It's like it's
garden gnome.
Yeah, a garden gnome. It's like that size. Anyways, it's Silver Age Batman, and it's beautiful. And got a bunch of other stuff there, of course. And they had a Superman one that big, and I couldn't afford it at the time. I got that when they came out with that one, but I got the Batman one back in the 90s, and I still have it. I love it.
Great stuff. Yep.
Great stuff indeed. And that's cool stuff there too. I don't even mind the Funko just because it's got Gold Key comics behind it.
Yeah, when I saw it, I'm like, someone has some good taste, even though they're selling Funko. So, and the Spock is really small too, which is good. So, it's like a mini Funko. It's not like one of those big Funkos. So, you almost after a while you don't even notice it's there.
Yeah. One of these days I'll try to find that book for her. I'll talk to some people. I know this. It's almost statistically, at least highly improbable, that I don't have at least one friend that has that book. I'll just check with them.
Someone's got to have it, right?
No, but if you knew the level of Trekness with a certain group of my inner circle, I should, you
would think someone would have
the
it.
stuff they collect, yeah. So we'll see. Well, I guess we can start to mosey, unless you got anything else you want to do.
No, I think we hopefully covered a lot of cool stuff tonight, and
we did. It was a lot of fun. Hope you all had fun tonight. We sure did.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Lisa could use a garden jockey, but to work in the garden. Hell, Lisa.
Good night. Good night, Joe Dog. Yes. It's a garden Batman, so yeah.
I'm looking up this art asylum Gorn to see if I could find one for Raquel, but they ain't cheap, unfortunately.
No, they ain't. Are they? No, that figures
$bucks. Yeah.
Well,
but I will keep my eye out.
So next week, folks, the Blake 7 episode will be Trial. And we have an announcement here. We were going to be reviewing the first Kolchak, but it's actually the first Night Stalker TV movie called The Night Stalker with Carl. So I say Carl, but Carl Kolchak, yeah. I mean with Darren McGavin as Carl Kolchak, I should say. And we're gonna review. There are 2 movies, and Raquel watched that one last night, thinking we were going to be reviewing it tonight, but I didn't watch it this week. I mean, because I thought we were just in talking stages at that point, or I would have, but I didn't know, that a certain genius who is the greatest engineer of all time had it on it. Yeah, Carl Malden. I almost said it again, Larry.
Carl Malden. Yeah.
Well, Carl Malden would not have been as good a Kolchak. Let's be honest.
No.
And he was an okay actor, but next time Oliver Bellamate. So, anyway. But we will do it. We'll start it next week. We have some time. Have you ever seen it or no?
If I saw it, it was years and years and years ago.
Yeah, and if you did, it was probably the show or something.
I did. I mean, when I talk about watching as a kid, I get scared the crud out of me.
Yeah,
so I might have seen that as who knows what I saw. I just remember the music and the show, screaming at the show. Yeah.
Night Stalker it was a TV movie from 1972 with Darren McGavin. He plays a reporter who is chasing down, a vampire in Las Vegas. And then they made a second movie called The Night Strangler, which he's in Seattle in that one. And then they made a TV series called Kolchak the Night Stalker, which lasted 20 episodes with a brilliant, just great show where he's this reporter who chases down, scary stuff. And usually no one believes him, and he's chasing the story down and stuff, and he narrates it. And it's brilliant. It was a big-time inspiration for the X-Files. And it's a great show. And those 2 movies are great. So, yeah. And we're looking forward to we're gonna start, tackling that. We're gonna, as and who knows what we'll do after that, but I think that'd be fun. So we'll definitely do the movie. I don't know. What's that now?
And scary, I said.
Scary, yeah. But it's cool because he's so great in it. She watched it, she wasn't scared, so that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it's not
Famous
it's not
last words.
gory. It's just not because it was 1972 television, and I think this is a good thing. It kept it from being super gory, you know, suspenseful
true,
and all that
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and that's what all she needed, you know.
Yeah, it's made for TV. Yep.
Yes, and it was a good. So I used to watch that show with my dad, and I was pretty young when that came on. So, especially the series. So I love that show. Especially that opener. See, they don't have in the movies. It's not in the movies, but there's the opening bit. It's really spooky because it's Darren McGavin whistling.
Yeah, that's just spooky and creepy. Yeah, and then the theme comes in after he's whistling.
And then it goes boom, 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 and ends with it's just great. Last year, we do Trek on Saturday nights. I'm about to make the announcement. Saturday Star Trek. We're always here. So I'm talking about for Thursday nights like this. We do our like earlier tonight we reviewed a Blake 7 episode, and coming soon, by the way, maybe next week, Larry, and everybody, we're going to be reviewing a Star Trek comic called Star Trek Unlimited. Maybe I should show people that real quick so
sure
anyone wants to read along with us. Let me find it. Where are you? No, I saved it. Let me go get it. Hang on a second.
You got it?
I got it. Yeah, I just got to scroll down a million miles. Where are you? Hey, I thought I had it saved. Well, damn it in the face.
You don't have it as one of those present things, or?
Let me go. I got to dig it up again because I swore I saved the sumbitch.
Bitch.
Me son bitch. God dang it. Let me see. Pull it up again. On our trusty dusty site. Unlimited. This site's pedantic. Well, if you just get the slightest thing wrong. See? What did I do wrong? Oh, I know. I've left out a letter. There you go. Okay. All right. So I'll show button the first so they'll see what it looks like so they can. There we go. Okay, folks. Let me share it here. Okay, so Star Trek Unlimited. From 1996, double-sized premiere issue. It has two stories each time. A TNG and a TOS story. One, they share it. I mean, they don't share it. They share the comic, basically. Lasher said, good night, Oren. Okay. And throughout the week, I come in late because of work. I'm sure you noticed. I always have to catch up or just figure out the conversation. I hear you. No problem, Lasher. I appreciate you.
All good.
Just good to see you. DJ Ronnie J. What's up, dude? Comic time. I just made it in time. No, we're not. I'm just showing this for a second. So this is what we start reviewing next week on the Clubhouse. If Raquel gets them, she's got them on the way. But if something happens, we have to push it back. We'll see. But we think she's going to have it.
Or if you can brainwash her to read digital.
Nope. I don't think. Keep trying.
Keep trying.
So here it is right here. And yeah. So it's a TNG story. I think and then it's a TOS story, right? Yeah. Okay, there you go. So the art quality varies. There's some pretty good art in some of it, and some of it not as much, but it's interesting. It's some interesting stories. I'm telling you, it's been an interesting ride to see her critique these stories because a lot of them are written incidentally by the guys who did Abnett and Lennon, Ian Eddington and whatever Abnett or whatever it is, the guys who did early voyages. So not all though, but some of them. So anyway, that will be fun. Yep, ID4. Yeah, the ID4 ad there. So all right. So any closing words, Marcus Aurelius? Also?
Well, no, it was just awesome to hang out with you guys tonight and fun to review that Blake 7 episode, and thank you
Sure.
everyone in the chat. Great stuff, and wow, it's almost over 3.5 hours, and feels like we just got here. So
yeah, it does. I mean, and thank you for all the stuff you clipped. I enjoyed it, of course. I do appreciate you.
Thank you. Yep. Glad. Yeah, those are always fun to show. Just put you in the mood for the show, and that's some of the great things about Blake 7. The great thing about Blake 7 is how witty the dialogue is. So
that's one of my favorite parts.
Is that that's one of your top tenors,
I
right?
think that's what makes it. Yeah, well, that's my top 3 or so. My top 3 4 favorite shows, the top 4 somewhere up in there. So yeah, but yeah, and I think that's what endears it to most people is the characters, and of course that means the dialogue has got to be great. Yeah. So for the characters to be so endearing, especially with a downer show, if you think about it, it's a damn downer. If you're being honest, I mean, So
Avon lives.
Avon lives. So what's the Texas comic store said? How do you
the
mean,
mail
Larry?
order one, right?
There is one called Lone Star Comics, which has a shop, has a site called mycomicshop.com. Which where do you see that?
I think that's what Raquel is talking about.
Raquel has ordered from them before, but it's just so expensive for the shipping and stuff, Larry. So, all right, RR, take it easy, buddy. We look forward to the Daredevil stream tomorrow. Wish I could tune in to Toxic Tuesday sometime, but the time difference is a killer. Oh, I got you, RR. I understand.
Yep. No problem. Yep. Watch on rewind if you can.
There you go, Larry. That's the Lone Star. There's a link to it. Thank you. All right,
Atomic Empire is good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Atomic Empire.
My stuff. That's a good one to check out.
Well, do they have back issues, or do they just do?
Oh, they have back issues too. Yeah.
Okay. Atomic Empire. Oh, there you go. Right
Another one to check. Yep.
Cool.
That's where I get my subs, my awesome new comics right now.
Yeah. Lone Star is a pretty good show. I've been to Lone Star a couple times in Dallas, anyway. Actually, there are a couple of them in Dallas. So, all right, let's see. Shout outs and shouty outies, right? Okay. So again, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Great J-Man's channel. J-Man, Sean, and myself review for Fearless Fridays, reviewing all of Frank Miller's extraordinary seminal run on The Man Without Fear. And only a few more shows to go of that one. We'll be done. And once we get done, we're going to finish up on the regular series of Daredevil. We're going to do Born Again, and then we're going to do The Man Without Fear, and then that will be that. And then in April, we start Fantastic Fridays. And that is Fantastic Four, Jack Kirby's Legendary Run, Fantastic Four number 1 through 102, and annuals 1 through 6. And then tomorrow, but in the meantime, before that, it's Daredevil. And then on Friday night, 8:30 Central Standard Time on the Great 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser's channel, it is the Friday Night Comic Shop with the Friday Night Comic Shop boys. Pablo and Castor and Fenrir will even be there. Hopefully, Fenrir's there sometimes with us, with the great Nick Weiser, and that's a lot of fun. Then, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek with 4 more scintillating episodes of Star Trek Voyager, whatever. Including an episode with the big X-Men crossover that you may remember that they did on that series with where they fought the Juggernaut. Remember that? So, no one remembers that, do they? Oh, and then we'll watch this. Batman on the Edge of Forever. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, as the kids say. Want to see another cool picture?
Sure.
I found this online earlier. I meant to show this to Raquel. Oh, that's not that one. What happened to it? Oh,
where'd it go?
No. I think I forgot to send it to you. No, there it is. I didn't save it yet. Damn it. Okay. This is a wild one here. I meant to show this to Raquel. I forgot all about it. What to show it to her on Saturday night, but here we go. All right, look at this. This is crazy. This crazy talk right here. Okay. Look at Clint Eastwood on the set of Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
On Kirk in this spacesuit. Yep.
Yeah. How about that? With
That's
his
got to be his
kids.
kids, obviously, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They
And
said
they
Leonard
probably
Nimoy
love
was
Star
there
Trek.
too. Yeah, he went to. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that crazy? I have to show. I'll keep that in the show to Raquel.
Well, I mean, a lot of kids. I was about that age probably when I started to really love Star Trek. So.
Oh yeah.
Great youth appeal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's pretty cool
picture.
stuff. Yeah, I love it. The great Clint Eastwood and the great Kirk. And they're both of them still hanging in there, man. And they're both about the same age. That is cool, isn't it? I forgot to show it to Raquel. She'll get a kick out of that. So we'll show it to her later. We'll show it to her Saturday night. Anyway. All right, what are we doing? All right, okay. So then there's End Your Week as a Geek on Sunday Night Geekery on the great Mark D with a cheese. This is Sunday Night Geekery on his channel. Please, of course, put your link in the chat if you would. If you have not already, I ask you all please to go to his page or his channel and subscribe, please. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. And and all that good stuff. And then of course, Monday night, we'll be back on J-Man's channel with our Legion of Superheroes reviews. 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. Sean and J-Man and I are continuing our Legion of Superheroes reviews. A lot of fun that is. And yeah, that's what we got going on there. Now let's do some shout-outies and show noties really quickly. I mean, I did the show notes. Sorry, shout-outs now. All Eric K, Chris Persia, D-Bud Martin, Lord Thought, J-Man, Maddie's Daddy, Cal L, Phantom Outsider, Rox, Redstone, and Larry. Let's see who is with us here now. Also with us tonight, Lisa. Thank you so much for being here with us, Lisa. Appreciate you. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend. Good night. RRTNZ, good night. Good night. DJ Ronnie J. Oren Alterus. Did I say that right? Oren Alterus? What do you think? Alterus? I guess it's good enough, right?
I think, yeah.
We
always try to do the best with the names. It's tough sometimes.
It's tough sometimes. It is. Lasher. Thank you, Lasher. And say hello to Jessica for us. Oliver Belamonte. Joe Dog. Wes Cagle. Wagner. Yawarski. You old rascal, you. Behave yourself. Oh, that's would be the great thing to clip. I just thought, when you think it too much in it, I would love to see. That's a good one to use. Remember the scene from RoboCop 2 with the old man yelling, "Behave yourself." I love that. Let's see.
I wonder if I have that.
RoboCop 2, you have that.
Oh no, RoboCop 2. Oh no, I did RoboCop 1.
But you have RoboCop 2, don't you?
Yeah, no, but I mean, we clipped it for Toxic Tuesday, so that's why I said I might.
Oh, but you never did. Oh, you all never did RoboCop 2 yet, right? But it's in that. That's the movie it's from now.
Yeah.
He needs to do RoboCop 2. Most people don't like it. I like it actually. A lot of people don't, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was
good and bad in that RoboCop 2.
There's some good stuff.
I thought it started really strong.
Bad language makes for bad feelings. When he becomes Adam West. K. Roberts. Zathras. I think I already said Zathras. Sorry. Putin's cat. Sorry, buddy. Philip Story. Tetrarch of Apathy. Don Ranger Powers. Nav Shergill. Man, stop. Notifications are pissing me off. The Time Scales. Yeah. So let's see here. It's the clubhouse, so we're gonna get everybody, folks. It just takes a second sometimes, and Brian Hepburn. Okie dokie. Let's see. Gotcha. Hang on, everybody. We're getting you. Claude Parrish, the minimus one. Let's see. Wow. A lot of duplicates, folks. I'm getting to them. Excuse me. Brogu from an old hometown. Philip Story, did I say your name already? Well, I'm just saying it again just in case. I do that all the time. I always end up saying one more than once, because I'm just bad like that, I guess. Herc 130. Sean Cudd from Mars. The great Michael Beacom, and shout out to Cassandra as well. Ravenscroft, my good friend, thank you for being here. Shooter was here, Shooter. The wonderful, lovely Princess Fiona was here as well. We love you, Fiona. Penny was here, by the way. Penny was here. Yay, Penny. I said RRT and Z, I believe. Picasso, my kind of guy. All right, all right, so getting there, folks. Sorta. Simply Steve. Wow, snuck in there, buddy. I got you, though. I caught you. Yes, sir, bud. All righty. Let's see. Me and my monkey. Probably shouldn't sing that. Wah. Stephen S. All right. The great 1701 text, buddy. I hope I get to see you. Seeing you Saturday. Adrian James. Salty Texas traveling. It was Salty Traveling Sea. Sorry. Good to see you, Salty. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Duke Leto Atreides, Captain. Cinema Gulp. All right. I think I said Joe Dog already, but just in case, Joe Dog. Mazarus. FKH. Tim's out there listening, by the way, I think, or was anyway. Tim, good to see you, buddy. By the way, anyone out there lurking, I should say by now, or out there watching on our download or rewatch, thank you so much. It is much appreciated. I forget to say it a lot of times because I'm an imbecile, but I do appreciate you. I did say Adrian James, right? DJ Play Nice. Suzanne Eckstein. All right, Suzanne. Scribe Light. I'm almost there, baby. I'm getting there. Thick Claude Selling. I think I got them all. Now I'm going to go way out on that limb.
Probably do.
Yeah. You betting on me now?
Oh, but now we've got to, Larry just did something really awesome.
Okay, hang on, Larry. I'll be right there. I'm almost done.
You're scrolling.
There we go. All right. Larry, dude, thank you so much, man. You shouldn't have. He says that's gifted 5 memberships. Larry, you're awesome, brother. I appreciate you, man. You are the triple Bullwinkle. Let me see you pull a rabbit over your head. Can you do? I was going to try to do Rocky, but I can't do Rocky. I'm sorry. Most I could do is Bullwinkle. What did you think about that Rocky Bullwinkle movie from 2000? Everyone hates it, but me, I kind of liked it. Man, I
don't think I've ever watched it.
I actually liked it. I went to the theater to see it. Everybody,
wow.
I mean, it's really evil.
Most people don't like it.
Yeah, it's again. I'm embarrassed to like it. Everybody's got one of those. I guess people say it all the time. Yeah. Like I got a guilty pleasure, or I got that one movie that everybody hates, but somehow I liked it. It's weird.
The way it works, right?
You slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
Rocky Force was June 4. Did you watch that movie though, Larry? Robert De Niro, I thought he was funny in it. Maybe he's a jackass now, but I mean, you know, it was kind of funny. You talking to me? You talking to me? There's no one else here. Are you talking to me? He made fun of. He did a parody. You see, ordered. Okay, it says ordered all 20 of Star Trek Unlimited from London. There are only 10 issues, buddy. You didn't like it, Larry? Well, you're not alone. Most people don't. But Larry, there are only 20. I mean, it's only 10 issues, bud.
Yeah, was there another Star Trek Unlimited series?
I don't know.
Unlimited, Unlimited Star Trek.
I don't know, but this one's from 1996, Paramount Comics.
1 through 10, right? Yeah.
10. Oh, it's okay. He says I just mistyped it. I got you. Thank you. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, wait a minute. They're holding out on me.
Larry off, right?
Yeah. I was saying they're holding out on me. There were 10 more, and I don't got them. Oh, my God.
Damn
I got you, brother.
Thank you. Universe. That's a new universe.
That is the thing. Let me say something. You laugh. But my thing about this, we'll get out of here and say it. You know, the reason why I'm interested in parallel universe theory is because of all those shows or comics that I love that got canceled too soon. My hope is there's a dimension out there where they didn't get canceled. And like, for example, Firefly went 5-6 years at least.
Yeah, it's still going.
You know, or Probe went good 5-6 years. And, of course, they were really great. And then they got canceled. They ended right when they should. You know, Batman Brave and the Bold, instead of having 65 episodes, had 200 episodes. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Briscoe lasted 4 or 5 seasons minimum. You know, I don't think that's an unreasonable hope. Anyways.
Yeah. We can all dream.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. And this is for you, Gwag, again. Holy Harlan Ellison, Batman. So, all right, everybody. Have a fantastic remainder of your week. We'll
Take care, everyone.
See you on the fun way. You put time one on. Hey, Gwag, if you're still there, by the way, I think I forgot to change that Juggernaut to the other episode, but I will change I'll talk to Raquel about that. But anyway, good. Thank you, everyone, and have a great remainder of your night. And also, don't forget to
Superman.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Groovy.
I just love clobbering time.